What's up, everybody? Hold on. I'm a little rusty. How's it going? Whoa! Can you guys hear me all right? Let me get all this synced up here. I got multiple chats open because guess what? I'm live streaming right into your computers and phones straight through YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So, hey, how's it going, Zipster? We got Imagine Dragons on Twitch, Absolute Evils. I missed all of you. So many familiar names. So good to see you all again. Mad Busted, of course. And then we've got Fear in the YouTube chat. Keon, Legendary, Shadow, Edge, Tutkin, Blip Blop. That's a great name. Rajan Rue, Con, Marcus Maximus. I think I know who Marcus Maximus might be. Maybe. Depends. It's been a year. It has been 1 year. Oh my gosh. Absolute Evil already throwing bits in there. I don't know if I have alerts set up on this overlay here. Let's just get it going here. So let me kind of explain to you guys what I'm going to be doing today and every Friday moving forward. We're going to be doing these live streams as Valhalla launches. And before then, we're going to try and show off some gameplay. So I got to play Valhalla for 6 hours a few weeks ago. And what we're going to do today, I edited out a bunch of stuff, but we have the full gameplay preview here. And so what's going to happen is we're going to showcase that like as if I'm playing, but I'm also going to look into the chat, answer a lot of your guys' questions and things like that. So if you want to take a part of that, now there is something I'm going to say is that the first hour of my gameplay is kind of spent around the settlement. We may skip around depending if it's too boring or things like that. But what we're going to do is eventually get into the storyline of the Mercia region. So if you don't want any story spoilers, I'm gonna give a big pause and I'm gonna say, hey, this is the moment where I start the story. And so if you guys want to stick around and watch that part, you're more than welcome to. And for those of you who would prefer to kind of keep the story pristine for launch, that's cool too. You're more than welcome to go anywhere else. Awesome. All right. So let me get the music in. That's another thing I need to kind of mention. So that song you just heard in the intro was created by an artist named Chateau. His links should be in the description of the YouTube live stream. If you're on Twitch, let me see about getting you guys a link to his stuff. Essentially, Chateau is just a fantastic music artist that I found, and I'm a really big fan of him. So I'm going to go ahead and share real quick in the chats both of his links to like his YouTube channel. And he made that Valhalla remix. And then on top of that, there is some ambient music in the game, but it's not, I didn't really notice it much. We'll take a look at that as well. But he made me a playlist that we're going to play kind of softly in the background to start. So let me do that real quick. And then let's get into it. One thing I also didn't do, because it's been a while, is I didn't tweet anything, guys. Oh my gosh. 0 tweets out there. Alright, let's hear. I am streaming some live gameplay. Or not, or I'm streaming live with some gameplay. Valhalla gameplay. Come ask some questions. Maybe some guests will arrive. That's the other surprise. Let's send them to, I think it's, what's the link? Pardon me, everybody. Behind the scenes, awesome streaming this stuff. Okay, it's working. Cool. Almost there. Thank you for joining, everybody. I'm so excited. This is it's so amazing. I actually am so in shock at how many people have showed up. Let's do. Oh my goodness. Someone, MJ Whelan, sorry I don't have the alerts on quite yet. I haven't been this excited for AC since AC 13. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it, Whelan. I haven't been this excited for AC. That's a long time to not be excited about AC. That's a long time. All right, I think we're good now. We're good now. Wait, I already have an automatic going live tweet. I'm ridiculous. Demonic Odin, Jordan, how are you finding the game's build diversity? That's a really good question. I think it's going to be quite amazing. I'll go ahead and show that to you guys as we go. All right, it's time. It's time. It's time. Lots of clicking on my end. All right, can you guys still see me? Oh, there's the bits. Thank you so much for the bits. All right, let's pause here for a second. We're gonna get into the details here. All right, Ubisoft logo looks really cool. All right, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Valhalla and you're interested in the choice between female Eivor and male Eivor, there is an animus decision in the middle, which is kind of technically their canon, would be like the best explanation. Let me know if the music's too loud too. I can bump it down just a little bit more. So instead of just picking male or female, you're gonna have a choice, and it's kind of tied to the story. It's kind of, that's an interesting thing to me, is I don't have very much information about what that means. Like if in a cutscene you're gonna switch between male or female, or at some point you'll just notice that you're male Eivor, and then other times you'll notice you're female Eivor. But definitely super excited for that feature, mainly because I'm just hyper curious. Can you show the main menu, Kian? No, I can't. That is one rule that I'm not allowed to do. I am not allowed to show the main menu, but that's fine. I'm sure it'll be a really amazing main menu. All right, here we go. Look at this. The running around transition screens have returned. Keep in mind too, there might be a few skips at the beginning of this playthrough because I had a few technical issues with my PS4 controller that was causing some problems. So hopefully, let me know if everyone can see all right. Sean Ricard, your demigod staff build helped me build greatly in Odyssey. You earned that $5. Thank you so much, Sean, for the
a fine shelter it is.
The donation there. I really appreciate it.
Got to fight with us. Which reminds me.
So this is what we're approaching here. Is we're in the settlement here, Ravensthorpe.
You want to pick one.
And this menu here is the Yomes Vikings menu. Okay. So this is the character creation menu where you can customize all the different Vikings that you want to come along with you on raids. And they can have the visualization of any single item that you have acquired in the game up to that point of creating them. The one interesting thing is there's a random appearance. You don't appear to have very much control over the actual size or the name of the Yomes Viking, but you get to choose the different gear that they're wearing. So when you randomize the character, like if you look in the bottom here, I'll pause it for a second here. If you look at the bottom right hand here, change appearance, whenever you press that button, it randomizes the height and it randomizes the name of the person. So there's not too much, it appears right now, control over like exactly how your Yomes Viking looks. Did you try doing dual shields? I didn't. That was the one thing I regretted, is I just felt like I was strapped for time, and so I I just kind of spent the first hour kind of around the settlement trying to see everything in the settlement. So this first part of this game gameplay is going to be me kind of messing with this menu. I think at this moment I was kind of waiting on some stuff, so I was just kind of checking out different things and seeing how this all works. But while we're kind of in the Jomsviking waiting for me to go back out of the settlement, I'm going to look back to the chat here and answer some of your questions. I'm somewhat excited about Valhalla, but concerned. But hey, share your concern with me. Hey, Blue Tips, thank you so much for the compliment. Appreciate it. Hey, Alex Knight, how are you doing? How do you feel about T7 PDM breaking your record? I feel like that's amazing. He is a amazing builder. You know, there wasn't too many builder people around the time that like I started making videos, and then he popped up, and all he did was make it more fun for all of us to play the game. So T7 is an awesome guy, and if you guys aren't familiar with him and you like Odyssey, go check him out. Just type T7 PDM into YouTube and it should be pretty popular. And I was talking to him recently. I think he definitely plans on doing Valhalla stuff, so that'll be a lot of fun. Hang Time, how's it going, man? I can see some humor builds, definitely, for sure. When does this game release? This game releases November 10th of November of this year. How does the parkour feel? The parkour feels pretty good. It's definitely, again, another, I would say the parkour is the same to Odyssey in the sense that there is spread out land. There's a lot of rolling hills. There's not very many tall buildings. But it definitely feels like they tried to put a lot of effort. So once you get into a city, your ability to kind of look upwards or reward you for moving up. The parkour puzzles are a lot more relevant than they were in Odyssey. And here we are. I'm saving my Jomsvikings, and you get this really awesome cutscene here too. Ernie Jotnar, Spain. She's going to join us. Can't find on YouTube T7. All right, how about this? You'll all get to see my fancy alt-tab screen. We'll find his YouTube link and share it in the chats for you. So if you're interested in more
Hello, Eivor.
more Odyssey builds, kind of like how I did, but he definitely gets a lot more granular than I do.
Bring us fish you find out there, and we'll pay you for them.
I'll just go ahead and post this in the chats for you guys.
We can't do a thing until we have a place to work. If you've got time, we'd love it if you could build something.
So the person we're chatting to right now
Farewell,
is
Eivor.
the fishing hut. So here, all right, I'm gonna pause for a second here, or I'll just let it roll. We'll see how it goes. As you progress in the game, your settlement is going to level up. If you aren't familiar, there's 6 levels to a settlement, and with each level comes additional buildings. So the building that we just looked at was the fishery, and the one before that was the Jomsviking. This demo took place, we were on level 3, and level 3 of your settlement has quite a bit of buildings. There's sears that you're gonna see here. This whole kind of first 20 minutes of my gameplay is me just kind of taking in the settlement and going, what is all this stuff? So here we're about to interact with the bakery. This is an interesting thing for builders. Improves the feast buff. All right. Hey, Big F and Deal, how's it going, man? Good to see you. How long is the demo? So I have 6 hours of gameplay. We're not going to go through all 6 hours. We're probably just going to go through the first bit here. But one thing to look at here with the bakery. So there's a lot of passive buildings like this. There's a couple buildings that have interactability, like the blacksmith, the hunter, the tattoo shop, the stables for you to kind of change the skin of your horse or your raven, or even there's upgrades to horses too, which is cool. You can apply speed boosts or running in water or health to your horse, things like that. But there's these passive buildings. There's a granary, a cattle farm, and what they do is they give you health boosts or attack boosts or assassin boosts when you build them. And it improves the feast buff. So if you go to your longhouse, the main epicenter of your settlement, and you ring the bell and you run a feast, you're going to get all these buffs for a couple hours for you and your raiders to go out on your ship and start raiding. So there's plenty of reasons to go back to your settlement and upgrade these buildings, because you're going to get a lot of benefit out of it. So is the settlement upgrade like in Unity? Kind of. It's definitely its own thing here. It's definitely its own deal. Alright, so here I am. Keep in mind too, I didn't play very well in this gameplay, mainly because I was using a PS4 controller, and I typically play Assassin's Creed on keyboard and mouse. So it was really hard for me to aim the bow and arrow. I feel my heart goes out to all console players in bow and arrow shooting, because it's rough. So what we're seeing here is cosmetic changes to your settlement. So you can really customize your settlement to look the way you did. I changed it to to a dead tree. Rations. That's another part about this game that I would actually criticize and say is probably the most tedious part of the game, is your health doesn't regenerate. So let's pause here for a second before we go into the blacksmith. Let me pull up my OBS here. And then the chats. Perfect. Jordan, does the weight stat have a big impact on the gameplay feel? Yes, you can feel yourself heavier. I'm assuming the more weight you put on, the heavier let's oh, T7's in the chat. There we go. He just donated. Thank you so much for the free shout out. Let's make it entirely free. Enjoy. Hey, I really appreciate that donation, T7. No problem, man. You're a champion content creator for AC, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Go check him out. What chat are you looking at? I'm looking at both. It's a little hard. Wait a minute. That's the AC1 Hidden Blade sound, is it? We'll have to play that back. So rations. If you look at the bottom left-hand part of the stream here, you're going to see the number 3 and a heart in there. That's the amount of times you can fully heal yourself up. Those are your rations. Have fun, been nice seeing you. Hey, see you, Legendary Shadow. Thanks for coming and hanging out. And so your health doesn't regenerate. Now, that doesn't mean I did not see a piece of gear that gives you health regeneration or anything like that, but I could see maybe I did notice some skills in the skill tree that that basically does kind of incentivize or help you with health or rations. You can upgrade your ration pool to hold up to, I think, 8. We'll see it in the menu here in a moment. But essentially, as you're battling or fighting, you're going to notice you're going to run really low on rations and health. And after like a really big raid, you're going to find yourself having to hunt for rations, either fishing or things of that nature. So it was a little tedious, but I'm hoping that we essentially it doesn't become like a nightmare thing where you're spending 30-40% of your time hunting down rations.
Hello and well met.
This is Gunner. This is the guy I'm gonna love the most. Gunner lets you upgrade your gear. Now, if you're familiar with Could you play with 2 small axes? Yes, you can. You can put any sort of weapon in either hand that you want. What we're looking at now is the upgrade screen. So if you watch my gear video, I put a lot of the details about that here. But essentially, instead of just getting a locked piece of rarity like in Odyssey with like purple gear stayed epic, and legendary gear stayed legendary, any gear you find early in the game can be upgraded in quality and brought with you all the way to the end game. So I think that that's a really, really big win.
You are looking powerful.
You are looking powerful. What's up, bro? Hey, how's it going, your dad? So,
what I'm here for.
yeah, so I'm just sitting here with Gunner for a bit. Gonna tell him I have to go. Let's go check out another spot. I'm just kind of running around at this point, just trying to see what's around the settlement. This is the first moment that I've been like really playing this game, so I'm just trying to take it all in. Here's the shipyard. Legend YouTube, been really good seeing you. Look forward to more content. Have fun. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. How is the story itself? Adam Joe asks. The story's really good. I love the Ragnar brothers. We're gonna get to that point here in a little bit. I might skip ahead or show you when the story starts, but I kind of wanted to do non-spoilery gameplay to start for those of you who don't want to be spoiled. It's not like there's no spoilers in this gameplay towards like Templar or Assassin or Ancient Ones or Hidden Ones, Order of Ancients type spoilers. It's just a single storyline that you will play in the game in Mercia at some point, pretty early in the game. So there's not. Hey, thanks for this the sub, Dan P206. Appreciate it.
Dan 206 just resubscribed for 4 months.
Much appreciated, man. Thank you. Oh yeah, I forgot the elk attacked me here. We gotta play that back. I completely forgot that this had happened. How do we scoot back? Okay. Alright. Oh, I might have scooted back too far. Hold on. Okay. Is there a way to like... Okay, watch this. Well, maybe... Okay, we'll scoot back just a little bit. You gotta pay attention to this.
Enough for today.
It gave me Red Dead Redemption vibes so hard, this scene. I laughed pretty hard. Alright, so I'm just innocently trying to check out this next building here. And, hey, at least nature comes and gets you, man. I'm coming up here like, hey, what's going on? What's this? And then, boom! That elk just knocks me on my ass immediately. I try to go hunt it down, and then I realize I'm really bad at aiming and miss him a couple times. Dynamite! What's up? Thanks for the resubscribe, man. And then I realize...
Dynamite 5 just resubscribed for 3 months.
I'm horrible at aiming with the console. Hey, Retro Reaper, how's it going, man? Yeah, a deer jump scare. Okay, so look at this. So this is another... I don't know who Hunwald is, but that building in particular gave us an assassin damage boost, which kind of is defeated. There is an accessibility option where you can make all assassinations instant kills. So if you're not interested in building assassin damage, like you can just turn that setting on and not have to worry about building any kind of assassin damage. So this is the cartographer. Hey, thanks for the follow, Boop. Yeah, every building gets this awesome, cool build cuts. And right there, we'll pause it right here. So as you can see, Ravensthorpe upgraded to a hamlet. We went from a level 2 settlement to a level 3 settlement. It does this really cool visualization about that, but it also opens up empty slots for more buildings. So I don't even know how big the settlement can really get. If you would count 3 out of 6, but we're about 20% or 10% into the full story of the game at this point in the demo, it would be my guess. that level 6 settlement could be something insane. We don't know. So there's still a lot that we don't know about the game, which is going to be awesome once we get to play it and figure out all those stuff. Have you done a chopping spree with axes? I have.
Malaka.
Oh yeah, Malaka's still there. I need to find a new sound for Eivor. Thanks for the
_Stiletto Vixen just subscribed.
Hey, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. So the cartographer, this is the cheaty guy. The cartographer is a cheaty guy. All right. If you, so we'll talk about the cartographer for a second and guided mode. So there is no different modes anymore. There, as far as I could tell, there's no more guided mode or exploration mode. It's only exploration mode. It shows you that a certain region has like 30 pieces of wealth to be gathered, but it doesn't tell you exactly where they're at. There's like these kind of like heat map areas where you can generally see where a particular piece of gear is, or some sort of wealth. You don't know. But the cartographer, this is technically, you have to spend silver to get guided mode. So you buy the gear map here, the ingot map here, and it'll show you exactly where it is. Thank you, Agent Perry, for following. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. He's from the Discord. For those of you who want to join our awesome Discord community, plug right now, ac-builds.com/discord. Go check it out. They didn't change the buy sound effect. It's still like Odyssey. Yeah, keep in mind that this game was built off of the similar technology that Odyssey was on. So the combat system does feel different, but the same in a lot of ways. All right, let's keep it going. So me being a lazy butt who wants to go find all the gear, went and bought all the gear maps. I spent all my silver on this, stupidly enough. And then there's raw materials and abilities and things like that. Are the controls similar? They are. Do you have a favorite weapon combination? I went to the dual heavy weapon. So there's two-handed weapons in the game, and there is essentially there's a skill set that allows you to wield two heavy weapons at the same time. And so that's the one I kind of focused on later on. Here I'm using Sunan, your Raven. As you can see in the bottom left, as I'm hovering over these buildings, I'm trying to see all the possible buildings in the settlement right now. And you can see their boosts in the bottom left hand screen here. Let me know if my webcam covers anything that you want to see. Dual heavy or dual normal? Both of them. They're both possible. And dual shield too. Hey, Michael D, thanks for the 100 bits. Man, Michael D, man. It's been a while. How have you been? Wow, thank you so much. Why a raven? What about Icaros? This is not Greek times, man. Brian, we're in the Viking Age. We need a raven. It makes perfect sense. Hunter's Hut. So the Hunter's Hut is going to be an interesting spot because the Hunter's Hut is where you get to turn in hunting or fishing things for runes. That building for builders who are trying to chase down specific runes for their particular build are gonna love. You're gonna have to be good at hunting because you're gonna have to go turn in a bunch of hunting related stuff here. Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world is this over here. It turns out it's a fowl farm, so a chicken farm. And again, it's another, just a passive building. There's a lot of food-based passive buildings that give you some pretty good combat boosts. Can you try and elaborate how combat is different from AC Odyssey, please? There isn't as much mythical battling as in Odyssey. So keep in mind that essentially Cassandra was a demigod, part Isu. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played. She's half Isu, half human. So a lot of her abilities were and attacks felt very like light. She felt like a very light fighter. She could jump really high and do all these kind of interesting things. Awesome. So here's the map. I'm trying to zoom into the map to see if I can see all the buildings. And we're looking at the gear screen here too. And all the gear. So to kind of finish what I was saying, I'll pause it here. Hey, thanks for the bits again, Michael D. Appreciate it. So essentially, to finish the combat thing, Eivor feels a lot more weighted. Like even her voice is kind of gruffy. And so the combat, when you get into it, feels a lot more weighted, for sure. And a lot more medieval, which I actually really like. Jordan, it's really good to see you. Hey, good to see you too, Russ Skidmore. It's here. We got another question here. Just asking, will there be an ACO content in the future? Will be primarily ACV? Interesting question. It's primarily going to be AC Valhalla. I'm at over 1,500 hours in Odyssey. I kind of hit my capacity with that game mentally, and I'm ready to move on to a new one. But there is something though. I made a big mistake, guys. I fudged up. I have 2 build videos that I had made to release that were not released, that are just sitting in my YouTube right now. So technically, I do have 2 AC Odyssey videos left. I just need to rewatch them to see if they are still relevant or if they've been outdated. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll push those back out. Imagine a hunting system like in AC3. I didn't really get to test the hunting system at all. What we're showing here is that you can hide and show each piece of gear you want in there. And I'm kind of going over all the runes here. See, like we got a +3 attack, +3 attack. These are minor runes too. So we don't even know the capacity of like major runes or large runes. So the resources here, these are the supplies that you get from raiding that you use to upgrade your buildings. Silver is meant to buy a lot of stuff. Crafting materials. So this is for crafting arrows, very similar to Odyssey, and upgrading your gear, the base upgrades. And then these ingots, like I mentioned in my gear video, which you should watch if you haven't, is for upgrading the entire quality of the piece of gear. Yeah, and then there's the consumables, hunter arrows, light arrows. You got a lot of different arrow types, very grounded arrow types. There's no explosive arrows, or there isn't fire arrows, but there is an ability to turn yourself like to fire a fire arrow. Like if you put an arrow up to fire, it will catch on fire and you can use it. All right, I'm looking in the quest menu here, trying to see. I don't know how to get to... At this point, I wasn't quite sure what to do here. So we're kind of running around, checking out more of the settlement here. Hey, thanks for the 100 bits, Boop. Appreciate it, man. Cattle farm, +3 range damage here. Can you craft arrows or just find them? Both.
Malaka.
Alright. This looks so much less complex than Odyssey. It's a different, it feels like the culmination of, it definitely feels like the culmination of both Origins and Odyssey together. Alright, what we're looking at here is mount training. It's a stable. I don't anticipate this meaning very much, but you can upgrade your horse. You can give it more stamina. You can give it more health. You can change the way it looks. You can also do this with Sunan. Sunan, your Raven, though, I don't think has any sort of stats for attacking or things like that. Are you going to be doing builds for Valhalla? Yes. Great to have you back, Jordan. Hey, thanks, Dan.
Nothing
P.
more today.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, upgrade your horse. Yeah.
Bye, Eivor.
We'll see if it's worth it or not. I don't know. And then I just wanted to make sure I could still hop into haystacks. Turns out you can't. You can just chill in there too if you want to, like old times. It's a big throwback. All right, I need to check in. Oh, my special guest
Well, look
might
who
be
it
ready
is.
here. All right, let me pause this here for a second.
Ah,
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I don't think I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can. Let's see if
Yeah?
yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Oh. Let me see if everyone else can hear you.
All right.
Can you guys hear my friend?
Hello? Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're fine. How have you been?
Hello.
It's been a lot. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Perfect. So, my special guest who I just asked this morning if he wanted to hop on is Turul or Dylan. Do you want to kind of briefly say who you are if people aren't familiar with who you are?
Yeah, my name's Dylan. I go by Turul online. But I am a moderator of the Assassin's Creed subreddit. And I'm also a member of the Mentors Guild. So the Mentors Guild is a Ubisoft affiliate program, and it's a collection of different community members who have like different specializations. And we have contact with Ubisoft, and we'll get previews of things and be able to share those things with the community, and we're able to take things from community back to the dev team. So that's just kind of a brief thing on that. But yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for hopping on, man. Yeah, the main reason I wanted to reach out to you was, well, first off, you are making more YouTube videos, so I'll post your YouTube links in there for people to check out your stuff.
If you look at my Twitter profile, you'll see I specifically put I am not a YouTuber.
Well, we'll at least try our best to see if we can get you to 1,000. So at least the videos you do get you something. But I want mainly because. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
What I was gonna say is like, you are a longtime Assassin's Creed fan. Me and you have had conversations privately in the past about Assassin's Creed, and I kind of wanted to just briefly kind of get your impression, because you got to play the same demo that I did. And when I was talking to JorDoNdoes about this, I noticed that we had completely different experiences. So I kind of wanted to see if you wanted to kind of briefly talk about what your experience was in the demo.
Sure. So some reference for everybody. I've been playing these games since like the beginning, since day one. I'm a very big fan of the Ezio trilogy. I'm a fan of the classic style of AC. I was actually a pretty big fan of Origins outside of its story. Odyssey has a lot of issues. It's not really a game that I would consider playing like again. Mm-hmm. But I was just watching your stream, and you said something like, this feels like a culmination of Origins and Odyssey.
A little bit.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, right? And I would say it's a refinement. Yes. Like, it has all of the same types of elements and features and like gameplay, generally speaking, but it's just so much more smartly like crafted and put together. Like the general structure of how there's like really only one main quest line, and those are broken up into chapters. Like it just makes it so much easier to like digest and focus on what's considered the main content, and then the side stuff is like pretty unique each time you find something, and it's not necessarily like I don't know if I'd call it optional, but it doesn't feel like I have to grind out a bunch of this stuff to be able to reach the next location. We'll see how that goes when it comes out, but
yeah. Even from like a story perspective, because the biggest memory I have of Odyssey from a story perspective is the beginning. Spoilers, you should have probably played it by now, so whatever. Is like when you discover that you're headed to like kill your dad at the beginning, like and then the cutscene happens and it shows. And like I remember my wife was watching me play that scene, and she goes, "Let me guess, what? You have to like, you're gonna go kill your dad or something?" Like very sarcastically. And in that moment, I realized, I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe this." I thought this was gonna be pretty good, but it kind of was a little underwhelming in terms of story. But the demo we played for Valhalla, I know it's just one storyline, and I'm not trying to be over hyped or anything like that, but like I immediately got kind of attached to the Ragnar brothers. It's like characters. Like I was pretty impressed with like those characters and the characters you met in the entire story itself. Did you find that similarly, or did you find yourself a little? Did you feel differently about this demo story?
No, I'd say the same. I actually liked Ivar so much that I put together a video of just like his scenes, because he's just so interesting to watch. And then what's really cool was, so he's kind of comes across as like this kind of psycho who's kind of sadistic, but he's like pretty washed up. But by the end, you like he sits down with you and you have a beer, and he just kind of like he kind of goes pretty deep on how he feels about his relationship with his brother, and how he can actually feels like he can make a friend with Eivor, and and how him and his brother are kind of falling apart. But he really wants to be able to rekindle that again. So like you said, this was just one chapter, but it feels really nice to be able to see, like, and not necessarily an arc in a character, but something that is a little more complex than just a falling of the plot.
Yeah, like I kind of like that structure, because there is the chapter story, and then there's this continued story. Like when we were done with the demo, I wanted to go to the next chapter, because like I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a moment where I'm either gonna have to choose between Sigurd or the brothers, or I don't know what these are. I don't have those answers, but I want to know them. Like that. I was pretty impressed with how excited I got playing and listening to this story. Was there so? I was just trying to. I actually had a few technical difficulties at first, not because of the game, but because of things on my end. But I didn't get to do too many like mysteries or things on the nature. Did you go do a lot of exploring when you?
I didn't do a ton, because I was actually trying to capture a bunch of like stealth gameplay. So I went and like found areas where I could kind of stealth around. But I did do some, and I also did. So there was a similar session in July, I think it was. I also did for about 4 hours. So I did a little more exploring there. Okay. But like from what I have seen is like every little, at least like some of the mysteries and stuff is a little different, right? Like it's not necessarily just some fetch quest. Sometimes you're helping people. Sometimes they're telling some sort of story. Sometimes it's goofy, and sometimes they're super rewarding, and then sometimes they're just like you get maybe it's just like a fun little thing that gives you a little XP. Like for example, one of them was Eivor walks up to these mushrooms, and I guess she eats them or something. And she's just nailing people on the boat.
I know. I didn't want to interrupt you, but that was like one of me and the demoist's favorite clip right there, was when I wanted to see what the physics would do if I just...
Okay. Yeah. But yes, back to A4. She ate some mushrooms, and then she basically had a trip where these seals they kind of directed you to figure out this very simple puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And like it didn't really amount to anything. Like you just kind of solved it, and then the trip was over. But it was still just kind of like something different and something memorable in it. And like maybe that doesn't necessarily fit into like the fantasy of Assassin's Creed or whatever, or maybe it's a little odd for the world, but it's a nice way to make something interesting and take advantage of like this setting that I feel like can have a lot of strangeness in it.
Yeah,
which I think is cool.
Yeah, I what I like, so at least the gameplay that like we're about to see is I kind of was just heading to see like, oh, what if I go track down this piece of wealth or whatever, and like there was these Roman ruins, and instead of just like running up to a chest and looting it and then getting back on your ship and like going to the like checkpoint, which is what I was kind of concerned about, was like this idea of like, because it's a Viking game and you're looting and like it's like move checkpoint, checkbox. There was actually kind of a puzzleness to this area. Like the chest wasn't just there. Like you had to like figure out how to get up there. There was like you had to shoot arrows and lower something for you to get to the right spot. And I kind of miss that. Like that just kind of reminded me of like classic Assassin's Creed games where you kind of had to think a little bit before you went and did something. And
yeah, I mean that's something Darby actually talked about was in a recent interview I think he had with Access the Animist. You guys should all check that out. It's a really great interview. Marco asks a lot of questions that aren't pretty typical, but he asked Darby's like, what's your favorite thing from this game? And he's like, well, what I'm really proud of is as a team we were able to kind of what he thinks perfect kind of the exploration loop. So that's like, you know, you have a main quest, but maybe along the way you have something that comes across your path, or maybe you seek it out. But once you get there, like you said, it's not just I find loot, I open it, done, right? Like there's always something to interact with before, or some sort of puzzle to solve or something like that, which or there's some sort of thing to raid or house to open. And I think that is going to feel really nice in a great change of pace of like what we expect from kind of collectathon open world stuff.
Yeah,
I still have the concern that it's like gonna still have that same issues of like checkbox, like check this off the box and clearing the map, which can be kind of fun, you know, like it can be relaxing, but it's still kind of mindless. So maybe this solves that, maybe it doesn't, but
it might.
I would say
prolong
and
it.
improve.
I think it might prolong. Like my instincts are like, for example, right there, I just discovered. Oh,
yeah, that's pretty cool though. Like, isn't that great that you're having to do more than just like go get the thing?
Yeah, and now all of a sudden I'm in the new area and there's some bad guys for me to take out. But like, I definitely feel like hopefully there's not like a pattern that you pick up where you're like, oh, now I'm just like using Odin sight trying to find red dots and shoot all of them and then I'll get there. So I guess it's kind of up to the player. I like that they put the features in so the player can play that way and be curious. There's definitely going to be other players out there who just kind of brute force everything, and they might be able to do that, but I wouldn't advise that.
Yeah, but even then, like some of the stuff is like you can't brute force it. Like I remember in one of my previous ones, like to open the door, you have to go find the window to shoot through to like break the lock on the other side of the door. Like it's a house, and so you can see through the window, but you can't go through it, and the front door's locked, so you have to shoot it. And you can't just like brute force your way through something like that. So you know, I think there's definitely going to be the people that like make this game as efficient as possible, but that's not really like the point. I
No.
think they were going for.
You're about to watch me die horribly to a much bigger.
I didn't come across any of these guys.
There's one of them on the map. He was a
Oh,
zealot.
really?
Yeah, he threw a bomb at me, killed me pretty much instantly.
Yeah,
The zealots are kind of mentioned. They definitely feel like mercenaries, but also those guys. Yeah, exactly. And
from Origin. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have that like one and done kind of vibe instead of these just constantly repetitive mercenaries chasing you around. Like
that was one of my big issues with Odyssey, was like that revolving door of mercenaries that were like, they all were randomized, but they all felt the same, and they had that like problem of they could beeline to your position basically.
Yeah,
like they would know exactly where you are as soon as you like hit the level high enough for them to start coming after you.
Yeah. One thing I just did, which I think super interesting, the thing I just collected before I died was a Roman artifact. And there's a building. Did you get a chance to check him out? You can turn in Roman artifacts, and I think he gives you visual customizations for the settlement. But it ties in to your there's some parkour on a tree right here for those of you. Although it's not true.
Oh, there you go.
Classic parkour. I was just trying to see,
amazing.
Can I do some AC3 stuff or not? You did a video about the abandoned Hidden Ones headquarters, and I think that's kind of a lore-ish area, is like this tie to the Romans and their connections to all this stuff, and with the fact that they're see, it's not easy to find this stuff. Like, I'm like, how do I get over there? Like, I'm spending a moment trying to be, okay, maybe I need to figure out how to get up there.
Yeah, you gotta find the path. Yeah, this is nice. This is cool.
But yeah, I'm just curious. Like, I'm pretty interested in that part of the game too. Is like how the Roman artifacts and connections to all the Assassin's Creed lore there is with all these ruins around that you collect.
Yeah, that area is super juicy in lore, and like they've done a good job at Ubisoft of marketing this as a Vikings game, right? They've not done a great job of exciting someone who's more interested in the Assassin's Creed stuff. But that being said, I think there is a lot of stuff being held back about the more Assassin's Creed elements, and I think that's partially on purpose because they just want people that are interested in it to go find it, right? And I think that like my guess is that fans of the, that are big fans of the story and the saga and the lore are going to be pretty satisfied with everything that's going on in this game. I think there's I think the Hidden Ones that are returning to what is an abandoned area is, I think their motivations are a little more hidden than we totally understand. I think that like it's going to be really cool to see how like how the Roman influence really affected these lands, and how the Templars were a part of that. Part of the Roman Empire, and now they've maybe they've returned again in kind of a different capacity. So yeah, I really want to learn more about the Roman, like the time of the Roman Empire in the within Britannia here.
Yeah, for sure. It has to play a pretty large role considering there's this many ruins and things. So there's definitely gonna be a lot of mysteries surrounded that. Yeah, like for it's been like what 5-7 minutes, and now I'm just now entering like an area where I can finally like loot something or get some sort of reward, and it just took a little bit to kind of assess the area around it and go, how do I figure this out? And even here it's like, oh wait, do I just smash this? It's like, yep, there you go.
So what did you end up doing? Did you just have to open the front door?
No, if you here, I can rewind it hopefully. Actually, Actually, I can't figure that out.
I
had
kind
to
of was
shoot-
like not. I was
Yeah.
half paying attention.
I had
so
to
was trying
shoot
like,
from behind and through. There was like a line straight to the back of the door from the outside where I had to shoot an arrow
Yeah.
to unlock the
See,
door,
I
which
see-
seems
I
to be a
could
pretty
so, like,
common.
this is pretty awesome, but like I could see that becoming that same thing of like go to place, shoot arrow through window to get to door. So maybe hopefully
At least
there's enough variation
in
that,
order to
but-
get to the spot, though. Here's what was interesting: is in order to get to the spot to shoot the arrow, I had to do some like parkour and figure out how to get to that spot, right? So like,
Oh, yeah.
you had to climb to the top of the building and either use ropes to get to one platform and then to another platform. I think I accidentally cheesed it and I jumped straight from the roof to the like final platform. I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't notice that, but until just now. But yeah, I feel like it could get repetitive with the shoot arrow through stuff, but at least there's some sort of like precursor to that where you kind of have to figure out how to get there in the first place and get to the point where you shoot the arrow. I'm definitely hoping that you're right, like that there's more than just shoot arrows through stuff, but it's better than what Odyssey had.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I kind of see this as like a. I don't know if you played Breath of the Wild, but they have the shrines around the world, and those are obviously a lot more complex than kind of these basic shoot arrow through window thing. But
Yeah.
I think that you're going to get kind of a similar feel or a similar loop in like in the idea of finding wealth or finding a mystery can often be a lot times more than just finding it. Like it's the experience is not just finding the loot. It's the whole thing surrounding it, which again is really cool. I think I did this one too. Yeah, you have to shoot the thing at the top here.
Yeah,
to drop the weight on. Yep. Right there.
And then you're like, oh, okay, that's how I get into there.
Yeah.
For those of you who just joined, I see a couple people asking who I'm talking to. I'm talking to Turul or Dylan. He's a Reddit moderator for the Assassin's Creed official subreddit. He is a longtime fan and member of the Mentors Guild. And he's just generous enough with his time to come join me and answer and talk a little bit about his experience. Because, I don't know, I respect your feelings on it. I feel like you have a very good, healthy outlook on Assassin's Creed games, and so
maybe that's just what I project to everyone else. I don't know if I have a healthy outlook. No, but I do have to leave here soon, so I'll just kind of wrap up with my like general thoughts. I wouldn't sleep on this game. Like, I think there is a lot they haven't shown, partially on purpose, and that there is a lot to like I said, the structure and the way things are organized, all kind of especially in the story. There's a lot of great story stuff. All of that really adds up to what I think is a really like cohesive and interesting experience that like wants you to to engage with it and come back, like whether it's having these stories in these kind of chapters or these exploration areas where you're kind of solving these little mini puzzles, or even like I didn't even get to talk about this, but the animus anomalies have really juicy narrative rewards at the end. And so if you're a fan of the truth videos from Assassin's Creed 2, you'll get something that is pretty similar to that, I'd say. So this is not necessarily like a return to form for the classic AC fans or anything like that. Like if you're not a big fan, or if you really dislike the previous two entries, I don't know if this game is gonna do it for you, but I still think it'll probably be the best version of these three, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's definitely an improvement and a refinement, like you had said earlier, on Origins and Odyssey. And I think it serves a lot of different kinds of fans of the Assassin's Creed franchise. But yeah, if you're like a Brotherhood religious follower, it might not be exactly that type of game for you, but still maybe check it out if you wanted to kind of reboot the franchise for yourself at all.
Yeah, and they haven't talked a lot about story and lore, but like I said, man, like don't sleep on it. Like I think there's a lot there that is going to pique the interest of the classic fans. So, all right, well,
Cool.
Thanks, Jordan. I gotta go.
No problem. Thank you
Really
for hopping
appreciate it.
on. I'll chat at you
Yeah,
later.
love to come back. Good luck with the rest of the stream.
No problem. See you, man. Thank you.
Later.
And for those of you who are still listening, go give him a subscribe. He's not a YouTuber, but he is making YouTube videos. I'll post a link to one of his videos in here now, and then obviously follow him on Twitter. He's a pretty funny guy on Twitter, actually, so you should check that out too. Cool. So let's kind of get back into the gameplay here. I'm going to look back at the chats now and kind of start to answer some questions here. Hopefully that conversation was interesting for you guys and you got a lot more insight out of the game out of it. Who was that? I'll say one more time. That was Turul or Dylan. He is a Ubisoft Mentors member and moderator for the Assassin's Creed subreddit. He also got to play the same demo that I did, and we were just kind of talking about all the different things. Dude, where you been? I've been in 2020. Everybody knows this. 2020 has been an interesting year, to say the least. The good news is I'm back. I've got a house, my wife, my dogs, and I'm excited to play more and post more content for Assassin's Creed. The skills tree has more skills than the previous one. Yes, so what you just saw a little earlier was the skill tree. It's kind of a webbed, kind of like PoE a little bit, where it's splintered off in 3 quadrants, but they all kind of connect on the outside. And so what we're kind of seeing in the skill tree is a bunch of little nodes that connect, and each one gives you a damage boost in different areas, whether it be melee, ranged, or assassin damage. After that, here's me just trying to test animations and see. I almost hit those kids. I didn't realize it. Whew. And so the way the skill trees work is there's kind of like a priority node in the each section that has a passive skill. It's not an ability that you use. There's a separate ability screen, but something that, like, for example, the stomp skill, or there's one that was like do 50% more damage with heavy attacks after the second heavy attack. Things like that. And so the skill tree is, what's nice is it's a lot more customizable, and it's a lot more easier to reset and acquire here. So this is the here, I'll pause this real quick. Oops, just kidding, I lied. How do I bounce back? All right, let's try to jump ahead. The file is so long. It's so hard to it's so hard to like pinpoint exactly where it is. Yo, what's up? Finally back in business. Happy to see you again. Hey, thanks, Vagos. Appreciate it, man. Weird question, but can you kill the children because in the other games they were immortal? No, that's a good question. I'm going to answer it. I heard that I'm breathing too loud, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's my fan. So I'm going to move my fan so it's not pointed at the mic, guys. So give me like literally 2 seconds. All right, and we're back. So to answer your question, are you able to kill the children? No, you're not able to kill the children. You're not even able to kill random people who are not enemies. So unlike Odyssey, there is no becoming a random murderer, becoming a serial killer in this game. Let me pull this up. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mohammed. Appreciate it, man. And so the there is desynchronization if you kill random people in this game now. I learned that later on in the game. I wanted to test it. I shot a guy who was fishing, and the game didn't like it. All right, so this screen here, this is like your action screen here, where you get to do different things. In the top right here, we see social stealth. You can turn your hood on whenever you want, everywhere you want. Typically, it's kind of auto turned on when you join Saxon towns that distrust you. This is obviously the torch. This is your horse, calling your horse. This is meditation, his return to like set it to daytime or nighttime. I got a question. Does this game have the same feature in which you could change the appearance of your gear like you could in Odyssey? Not in this build that I played. I'm hoping that does return though, but you can turn off and show gear. And then this one, this horn up in the left, this is how you, this only works coastally, but this calls all your Yoms Vikings to your location on the coast and they start attacking you, with you. And then this is call your ship, next to you. What do you think of the game sound when you assassinate? For me, off loud. Is there a mercenary system? Hey, Tesnick. How's it going, man? Can you wear your hood in combat? While you're assassinating, you can. The moment you start using your weapons, I think the hood flips back. Is there a mercenary system? Not that we know of. There is a zealot system, but it doesn't seem to be quite mercenary based like Odyssey. It's definitely different and more like Origins. Do you actually stealth better with your hood up? Yes. You aren't noticed as easier. When you have your hood up, you don't really call too much attention to yourself. Is it true Ivar walks in this game? Yes. If so, is there a story behind that? If spoiler alert, why Ivar is called the Boneless in this particular game is because he says in the storyline, which is later on in the gameplay, he's boneless because he's so quick and agile. He moved around like the wind, and so they called him Boneless.
Word of our growing settlement has reached outside ears.
So how do you whistle? I didn't try a hidden whistle, but it has to be some whistle back. So here is Sigurd's wife. This is where you kickstart every storyline in the game here. The alliance map. This is where you pledge and create alliances with all the other different regions. So technically, we're part of the Raven clan. Technically, according to the story, Eivor isn't the head of the Raven clan. Sigurd is. And so here's the alliance map. We're trying to help the Raven clan, which is based in Mercia, to try to get a Dane-friendly king in. So we're starting to enter into story now. So if anyone doesn't want to be spoiled by the story, they're more than welcome to head out. It's not a huge spoilery story. It doesn't really spoil the main story at all. I still don't know anything about how the game actually ends or anything like that. So this is just a local story about how we're going to put a Danish king in place in Mercia. So there's a hood for each set. The hood is its own gear item. The hood is, so there's 8 pieces of gear now, and there's a helmet gear and a hood gear. So technically you have 2 head spots, but it's not necessarily a hood, it's a cloak. So you see this cape behind me? The cape and the hood come together. So it's called a cloak, and it has its own perks and damages and things like that. So it's like it's an additional piece of gear independent of the helmet attached to your body. Bro, I came now. Is the fighting system better than Odyssey? Yes, I definitely like this fighting system a lot better, especially as as I was getting more and more used to it. I'm a head out. All right, see you, Tesnick. Thanks for stopping by. Don't want spoilers, no problem. We won't, by the way, I'm only going to be streaming for another about 2 hours or so, and it's not going to, I will not be able to show the entire story in that time period. This is a 6-hour playthrough, and we're only an hour or so in. So here's me testing more testing dummies. More testing dummies. I really like that the testing dummies are back. Maybe there'll probably be lots of build videos of the future with me using those dummies to test out damage output. But yeah, so maybe next Friday we will go through the other half of the gameplay. That way we because we won't be able to see all of it today. Is it hard to adapt to the controls? It was for me, mate. Like I mentioned earlier on in the stream, is I see right there when it comes to hunting, I think the hunting features are primarily going to be centered around the legendary animals, because it feels very identical to Odyssey. When you hit a random deer out in the wild, it looks like they just died and you get leather. So I don't think there's necessarily, but there is a lot more complexity in the fishing system. Like the hunter wants different types of fish to turn in to get different runes. So I think the fishing system will be a lot more complex than the hunting one potentially. But to answer your controls question, I use keyboard and mouse, and so I had to use a PS4 controller for this demo playthrough. So I felt a little handicapped because I had to kind of relearn how to play Assassin's Creed with console controllers since I've been doing PC for the last 5 years or so. The assassination sound is the same as AC1. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Jordan, did you find the Animus anomaly? I did not. And even if I did, I couldn't show it to you guys. So no Animus anomaly here. But I have seen it. And it looks pretty cool. I think the Animus anomalies remind me a lot of like the modern day parkour puzzles that you used to have in the old games. So, but kind of mixed in with this world. So like imagine you're riding your horse in a green field as Eivor, and then all of a sudden it kind of glitches out, and now all of a sudden you're Layla, and there's like these Animus looking platforms that you have to like parkour on. That's kind of like what the Animus anomaly is. But you can't show them, but I heard Layla looks quite a bit older. Yeah, when I saw her, she definitely, at least stressed. She looks like she was the president of the United States for 8 years. Like it's not that she's necessarily older, like it's not like she's an old lady, but she's like worn down, it seems like, almost. I don't know why. I don't have like a, but the console allows you to kick back and play the game from your bed with the hard keyboard, but the PC is for a game is just must. Yeah, I definitely now that I have all the setup to be able to use controller on my PC, I can use Steam Link and play my PC version from my TV with a controller if I wanted to. So who knows, maybe I'll do that. Iron ore and leather, that's what you use to upgrade your gear. Doing the nice synchronization here. And there was one thing. So I'm noticing now is like I use my horse to try to get to the synchronized locations, but then I notice, if you notice on the map, I'll pause it next time I open it up. There's going to be a lot more times I open up the map, but the rivers are quite splintered and very. What I mean by splintered is there's a lot of them, and they go like a web throughout the map. So right now I'm like just trying to get myself to the shore so I can pick my ship up and use that instead of the horse. And I felt like the way you travel through the map, I definitely felt like, why wouldn't I just use my ship to go find stuff, you know? Not a must. There are some console players, maybe just one. Yeah, there's a lot of... JorRaptor has a lot of console players. I definitely... There's plenty of console players. Are you playing on PC? Is the game heavy just like Odyssey and Origins? So I'll kind of reiterate, I'm not playing right now currently. This is a pre-recorded playthrough of the game that I'm showing here, that I did a few weeks back. But... this was played on using a PS4 controller. I believe the demo was on a PC though, when I did it. All right, so here's where I test to see if it's possible to kill random people still. I think I go over to that guy on the boat lately. At this point, I think I'm talking to my demoist, trying to figure out how do I get my ship. Keep in mind, this is the first time I played this game, so you're seeing a real green experience where I'm like, oh, here it is. I question. And here we go. I see it's grayed out. So I'm like, interesting. Civilian casualties will result in desynchronization. Don't do it. And then I call my longship over. Hey, thanks for the super chat overshot plate. How have you been? It's been a while. Oh, I was asking about parry block. How does it work? Is it like Origins Odyssey? Yes. So because of the dual wield, the left bumper is your parry option, but it's also when you hold it your special attack. And I believe if you have a higher evasion stat, parrying and dodging becomes a lot easier to do. At least that's what it felt like. I asked that question of some of the developers, and hopefully they'll get back to me and kind of give me a little bit more detail on what the stats do and how they impact the game. And here's a raid. Like, as you're going down the river, you're just like, oh, there's this camp, let's go raid it. So here I go. The first combat. I'm trying to be all arrow-like. Then it's like, all right, let's bring in the dual heavy axe here. Heavy axe, I realized at the beginning, was really slow. It's hard for me to really get it together. It uses a lot of stamina. There's a crossbowman right there. But yeah, there along the river, there's going to be events like this, obviously, for you to take on. Me trying to figure out dodging. This is the first fight I had, or technically the first fight I had was that zealot, and he whooped up on me. So don't judge me for the bad raiding gameplay here. Did you visit a snowy area? No, the area I had was Murcia, which is a lot more fall looking. The environment, as you can see here, there's a lot more yellow trees. It feels a lot more fall, a lot more red trees, but no snowy area. Is Valhalla pre-Odyssey and Origins or after? It's after Odyssey and Origins. It is in the 9th century England. There's a good chance, because of the time frame that I don't know this is not like a fact or anything, this is speculation, that we may find at least maybe the creation of the Templars during this period of time, because it's still Order of the Ancients, it's still the Hidden Ones in this game, but because of the introduction of the Catholicism in the medieval times, and how the Danes kind of ushered in an era that changed medieval Europe pretty significantly. So I'm anticipating some pretty major lore moves for the end of this game. Hey, Michael D. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Is there a merchant or daily objectives? There are merchants, and I didn't notice any daily objectives. Sorry, I didn't mean to miss your question there. I know I missed you, Michael D. It wasn't on purpose, my friend. I'm trying to read. Are you the real Darby? I am not Darby at all. Darby McDivitt is a separate man. But there are merchants in each city that do sell runes. They sell gear. I might need to like skip past this part. Oh, never mind. Alright, here we go. Sorry, there's certain things that I have to like skip past because they were demo issues, not issues that were going to be with the final game. Yeah, Michael, also, just if you guys want to get my attention just because of like seeing the two chats, like just tag me and it kind of highlights it for me and it makes it a lot easier for me to see your questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and tag me in it. That way it's a lot easier for me to see. Are you still going to be making Assassin's Creed Odyssey videos, Jordan? No, like I said earlier in the stream, I discovered I had 2 builds that are unpublished from Odyssey. So I'm going to have to check those out and see if they're still relevant. And if so, those will probably be my last 2 Odyssey videos. Barring some sort of, on the anniversary of Odyssey, maybe we'll do like an Odyssey stream again. And do something like that. Again, this is like one of my first playthroughs, so I'm just trying to figure out the controls and all this stuff. So I'm getting whooped up on right now, but I get a bit better as the gameplay goes through. Stealth archer, go burr. Yeah, there's archers and crossbowmen. Arbalists, they're called. And they, the arbalists are kind of, think of them as like heavy archers. Their arrows have like a red trail with them, which I think is like a heavy attack versus like an arrow is a light attack. So I think when it comes to heavy and light resistances, yeah, oh my gosh, look at that beheading. These animations are pretty insane. So an arbalist likely deals heavy damage to you, while an archer likely deals light damage to you. Can you tag enemies? Yeah, so it's different now. So no longer does Icaros, or in this game Sunan, the Raven, does not tag enemies for you. So how you tag enemies is by using what's Odin's Sight. On the on your controllers, for me on the PS4, it was clicking in the rightmost joystick triggered Odin's Sight, which I think is, it's probably story-based how you get Odin's Sight. I don't know how you get it. I just started the demo with it. But you see me just use it right there. And look, it kind of highlighted the arbalist right there, all in red. So instead of outlining them, they get this kind of like heavy red look. And it's only temporary. As you can see, the arbalist has lost the tagging structure. So it's useful. I thought that was funny. He was loading and just ended him. Or use the highlight thing like this. That works too. Are there any mercenaries or bounty hunters again like in Odyssey? There's zealots, which is... I don't think they're like... I don't think that they're like a mercenary. I think the mercenary system is not going to be here. So this is a good point. I just got 2 skill points. I didn't level up there. You have a kind of like an X. It is kind of like an XP bar in the top right here. So if you look, there's like an empty. If you can see my cursor, there's like an empty thing here that fills up with XP. And once it fills up, then you get 2 inventory points. But your overall power level is based off of how many skill points you've applied and how much the likely the power level of like your gear. So I have 2 skill points. I'm looking at all the different nodes. As you can see, these smaller nodes, I'll pause here. The smaller nodes apply base stat boosts. So like melee damage, range damage. You can see them here. They even have like a unique icon kind of showing where they are. This is good. I want to turn this into a website for us to kind of pick apart. It's going to be a little challenging. I don't know if I'll be able to have it at launch, but maybe by the end of the year, if I work hard enough, we might be able to kind of pick this skill window apart and see all the different boosts we have. But as you can see, there's constellations of nodes. So we have this constellation, which is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 nodes all in a constellation. And then there's another constellation. There's about 16 of these constellations in there. And there's about 9 passive boosts to particular stats. And they vary from melee damage, assassin damage, critical strikes, critical damage, things like that. And then there's like a passive ability, a big one. Kind of the key star in the constellation that gives you it's not an ability, because as you can see here, we're in the skills screen. There's a separate abilities window, which I look at later. Melee resistance, stealth damage. But once we see, like here, we have dual swap. So this is an example of like a passive ability. So when dual wielding, hold a particular thing and you can swap weapons. Why this might be interesting to players is there's different animations depending on which weapon is in your hand, left or right. And so maybe there's a cool combination of animations you have depending on which weapon you have in which hand. So there could be a dual swap build in the future that I could see, where if you have like a flail and an axe, and then if you reverse them, the special attack is a little different. So that might be a pretty fun thing to check out. Jordan, did you fight the Goliath army? Or the Goliath enemy? I did fight the main if you're talking about the boss of this particular storyline, I did. I don't know if we'll get to that in today's stream though. We could skip ahead if enough of you wanted to. Is there a DLC? No offense, Brian, but like what game hasn't had DLC in the past 5 years? I guess no, like even yeah, I can't even think of a game that hasn't had DLC, at least AAA. I'm so excited about this game. I pre-ordered the $200 edition. Nice, man. Hopefully hopefully all this content and playthrough is reaffirming your excitement for the game. Let me know in the chat like anything that you guys have picked up or noticed, or like things that maybe you're concerned about, if you have any kind of questions around that, or not even, or like if now just watching the gameplay you're kind of like, oh yeah, I'm pretty excited for this game. Yeah, see, there's a little bit. I'm trying to figure out how to go loot that thing, and I realize I'm like, oh, I need to like hop on to that rope and crawl across to get over there. Hey, sent you some money, asked you a question. Oh, there you did. Sorry, I did just miss that. How is the... Thanks for the super chat, Arizona Molnar. How is the online gameplay going to be? There is no online gameplay. I guess the online gameplay that you could... It's not technically online. Is the Yoms Vikings are shareable. So if I design a Yoms Viking for my crew, I can share that with you guys. So there's definitely going to be a lot of content creators trying to push their Yoms Vikings on you. So hopefully those of us who make them and try to share them with the audiences, make them pretty cool. Thanks again for the donation, Arizona. Sorry I missed that. I'm trying to keep all the notifications open. So here there's a ration pouch upgrade. So right now I can have 3 rations. It looks like you can have up to 6. There's a quiver upgrade. It increases more arrow capacity. Yeah, and then rations upgrades. How's the combat? Is it better than Odyssey? I definitely like it better than Odyssey, yes. What you just saw here was me doing a base stats upgrade on my two-handed axe there. I noticed someone in the comments said that like my Eivor, the one I designed, was fire, and I tend to agree. A lot of people were kind of laughing that I chose to make Eivor bald, but I was like, no, what? Eivor's a badass. A bald, tattooed, badass lady with a big axe? Come on, man. How to download early access. There is no downloading or early access. This is not, this is a pre-recorded demo that we're watching that I played a few weeks ago. In terms of getting the game earlier, I don't think they've mentioned any sort of pre-orders get you the game a little bit earlier. How long will the stream be? I stream for about 3 hours typically, and we're about halfway through right now. So we got another hour and a half of watching me try to play this game with a PS4 controller. Can you customize gear like in Odyssey? Visually, the transmog system in Odyssey is not there in Valhalla right now, but that doesn't mean it won't be. Keep in mind that Odyssey's transmog system was not in the game at launch. So my guess is that they're trying to fix a lot of other core things before they kind of... I feel like a transmog system might be, again, another thing that they're trying to... Thanks for the 100 bits again, Michael D. Jordan, I'm excited for this game. I'm going to run to the bathroom with my... Oh, boy. Okay, you have fun, Michael D. You have fun, man. What was I saying? Yeah, customizing the looks of your gear. I'm anticipating that will make its way in the game. I hope so. But in terms of stat customizations, instead of having randomized gear, you get rune slots. So you get to actually customize the stats of your gear pretty intricately, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, look. So now we're in a Saxon town. So because we're in a Saxon town and we're a Viking or a Dane, I'm making this drunk guy cause a distraction. We're not welcome here. And so as you can see at the top, there's an orange bar up here. We're not in a restricted area. We're just in an area that we're not welcome. And so we got to kind of keep it low key in order to avoid the guards. So civilians won't call you out or anything like that, but guards will notice you. So you have to use social blending or distract them to kind of do stuff. But there's things to be done in this city. There's merchants and different things that you can buy and do in the towns. And so Saxon towns, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful. Me, on the other hand, I literally noticed that the guard was noticing me, and I had to face away from him. I immediately realized, like, oh no, I got noticed. Like, the guard started coming after me. As you can see, the moment you're in full combat, your hood comes down. So right now, I'm just I didn't want to fight anybody, so I'm just trying to run away because I wanted to just experience the town instead of kill, like, GTA style. I didn't want to get like everyone chasing me. Are you going to replay Origins or Odyssey before this releases? Probably not. There's 3 weeks till the game launches, and I'm probably going to spend a lot of my time trying to make more videos or do streams like this, and maybe have more guests like Dylan come on and talk more about the game. How do you attack in this game? It's pretty basic. Okay, I'm back. That was pretty fast, Michael. Make sure you put this in front of that question. Jordan, how do you attack in this game? It's pretty... Yeah, it's your pretty standard pull the right trigger, heavy attacks and light attacks. It's a lot similar to Origins and Odyssey. Very same thing. should I get this game? I mean, I'm gonna get it. I definitely got really excited playing this game. And I liked Odyssey and Origins. So if you like me and my recommendations, then yeah, I would do that. It's up to you though. If you liked Origins and you liked Odyssey, I think you're gonna love Valhalla. If you didn't like either of those games and they were underwhelming to you, my guess is that there might be enough new things in Valhalla that you might like, so maybe try it out. But if you didn't like those two games, maybe pick it out of there. Excuse me. What just happened? I jumped down and assassinated a guard because I didn't want him to notice me. I almost assassinated that poor lady too. What just happened? Did we have a stream dip? Do we have stream issues, folks? Let's see here. It looks healthy to me. It died just for a bit. We're all good now? Okay. I've got a hardlined internet in here, so it should be fine. Okay, so we're at least it's back up. I saw all the F's in chat, and I thought it was for the I thought it was for the guy assassinated. Better or worse than Odyssey? I think it's better than Odyssey, at least in this experience, from what I can tell. How did you get access? I'm a content creator. I got reached out to if I wanted to do a demo, and I said yes. Yeah, pretty simple. I'm really excited about the Ezio outfit. Yeah, I think they accidentally leaked those legacy outfits too early. What was I saying earlier before it dipped out? I think someone asked me my feelings on this game. And I think it's a better culminate. Like, I think we've had Origins showcased how Origins showcased how we're headed down. Assassin's Creed sent it down a path of kind of like an RPG in the sense that you can build and customize and have different weapon types and really kind of tailor the combat system to what makes you have the most fun. Odyssey took that a little bit further, but it kind of took a step back, I think, in story and in things like that. It put a lot of front-facing effort into a lot of like just base features, and I think that Valhalla is a great combination of those two. It has the feeling and story level of Origins with a better version of the Odyssey combat system, in my opinion. Are there a lot of side quests? There are side quests. There are also a lot of random quests that you don't pick. You don't just like pick up quests in this game from somewhere and go do them. You'll be walking down the road and you're gonna notice like a crying child or something, and you're going to be asked to like help them, and those will be your side quests. I want to wait for the PS5 to come out before I play this, but I'm so hyped. Yeah, hopefully they let us know soon if your save files will go from the PS4 to the PS5. If they announce that, hey, just play it on the PS4 and then move your save over, but we don't know that yet. Is it fun playing this? It was a lot of fun. It was different though. I can't wait to just kind of play it. When you're doing a demo like this as a content creator, there's this weird pressure to experience everything because you want footage of everything. And so there were times where I felt like I got like pretty immersive and I wanted to just play, but then there was also times where I was like, hey, I've been doing this one thing for too long. I need to show something else for you folks. So I'm hoping I get once I get the full version of the game, that I'll be able to just play it. Valhalla gonna be fun before Cyberpunk comes. Oh, you're telling me. Man, that Cyberpunk stream, not to turn this into a Cyberpunk stream, but those vehicles, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna, I might have to not make any Cyberpunk videos, only make Valhalla videos, but I may stream Cyberpunk because I just want to play Cyberpunk, guys. Like, just to be honest with you, I'm trying to test out the poison here. Poison build-up's not like the most amazing. Poison build-up has always been interesting to me, even in Odyssey, because it feels like by the time you build the poison up, you've already hit the enemy enough times where it doesn't matter. They're like dead. This may be me, but it's starting to get glitchy and laggy. I'm looking at the stream health here. It seems to be doing okay. Let me look at a couple things though. Let's just make sure that the stream health is doing okay. Looks good on Twitch. It looks good on YouTube. That's good. Do you think the DLC will be like Atlantis but with Asgard, or do you think it'll take a more realistic route? Is the Twitch stream getting all weird? I wonder if more people in my neighborhood are getting on the internet or something. I'm asking a lot of my internet. I have pretty good upload speed though. I'm asking a lot of my internet right now to stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So if it gets to be too bad, I might just pick one, and we'll see which one I pick. I don't know yet. Like way blurry. Keep in mind too, the blurriness of this game is the way that I exported the video. It's a 5-hour long video, and it was gonna take like 24 hours to export it at full quality. So it could be banding a little bit because I had to compress the video for me to be able to show it today. What I'll probably do is set that export up over the weekend, so I've got like just a super high quality version of all the footage, and then maybe try that next Friday for the other part. Hey Haggy, how's it going, man? Can't see the words because they're blurry. Interesting. Just if you guys are having quality issues on the stream, just go ahead and remember you can just refresh the stream and hopefully it will clear up for you. Keep that in mind. I think I was answering someone's question and I forgot. Do you think there will be DLC like Atlantis but with Asgard? I think Asgard and all of those mythical places that you visit in oh, this guy's throwing me into my own boat here. I think you're gonna visit Asgard in the base game. I'm pretty sure that's the case. This enemy is a little rough. Here's me trying to learn how to dodge this guy. And keep in mind too, this is a work in progress. Like if you see some animation that's not quite synced, the game went gold today, so they cleaned up a lot of this stuff. So the footage you're seeing is already outdated. So keep that in mind. It's pretty close to the launch build, but it's not that close. So I definitely think you're going to visit Asgard in the base game is my guess. And even the things like the United States. So when it comes to DLC though, I don't know. I think that they're going to have to release a post-launch trailer before launch, and there we'll kind of get an idea of what the DLC might be. Maybe the DLC will be like going to Paris, or I don't know. There could be a lot of different things. I think it might be a little bit more realistic, like a new realistic map to visit with a combination of a little bit more mythicalness. Jordan, how does it feel to come back after a year? It feels really good. I miss this a lot. I miss this quite a bit. I feel really good. In fact, I was pretty, you can ask my wife, I was pretty excited this morning. I was being pretty goofy, like kind of like a little kid kind of skipping around my house. Really excited to stream and talk to you guys again. Can't wait till it's me actually playing, because like right now I'm not playing. We're just kind of doing a reaction video, but stoked for this game and Jordan's insights. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it, Aggie. Do you guys know if progress transfers on disc and download games to PS5 from PS4? It depends on the game. So Watch Dogs came out and said they will, but Valhalla team has not yet. So if they haven't yet, it tells me that maybe they're running into some issues that we don't know with trying to do that. Potentially, I don't want to speak for them. I don't work for the team or anything like that, and I don't want to say anything that sets it bad. But I would just say that when it comes to Valhalla, treat it like it's probably the saves aren't probably going to carry over, and just be pleasantly surprised if they announce soon. And let's just hope that if they are running into issues, that they find whatever that is and fix it, because that would be a really awesome feature if they could get that to work. That'd be pretty good. Will there be any crazy builds for this game? Of course, man. Look at all these weapon combinations in runes. You can do double shield, double hammer, double single axe, axe shield, shield axe, double greatsword, double flail. There's going to be so many different cool combinations you can do. And there's going to be a lot of cool different sets. So if you're really into the builds and you're really into combat and all that stuff, you're going to have a fun time with this game. I think now keep in mind too, there's a lot of settings in this game that kind of conflict with the idea of trying to optimize your damage, you know. So here I am switching to double axe right now for a bit, just kind of looking at all the animation types for that. What was I just saying? We were talking about customizing. Keep in mind, there's a lot of settings. So like, for example, there's a setting to make sure that every single assassination is a one hit. If you're really into combat and builds and trying to optimize yourself, I think you're going to have to set your game up so that it has very challenging settings. Like, you're going to want to put yourself on nightmare mode, turn off instant assassination and things like that. And then with all those difficulty settings turned up, I think that's when the builds you'll start to notice. Like, oh, I have like a double dagger and I'm doing a bunch of stuns really quickly. Or I'm one-shotting people with a huge axe swing and things like that. That's when it'll get to be a lot of fun. Are you playing on Xbox One? I'm not playing, again, to kind of reiterate, I'm not playing the game currently. This is pre-recorded footage. When I did play it, I played it with a PS4 controller. My guess of DLC: expansion 1, Celtic lands, Cornwall, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. Expansion to Scandinavian with Iceland, maybe Greenland. That's quite a bit of expansion. I guess I lied. I did kind of visit a snowy-ish area. As you can see, we've kind of moved away from the fall-like area into a more snowy, piney climate already. So here you go. I think it was Dynamite who asked that. How are the controls of the ship? Pretty basic. There is no combat with the ship, other than your guys hopping off and helping you. There's no ship combat, which it makes sense. It's historically accurate to be that way. The Vikings, their ships were typically just for utility purposes. They used them to like move. They would put them together to build bridges, things like that. They were more utility than they were for combat. I'm just trying to check some things out here. Axe on a chain wasn't a historical weapon, no. So as much as they definitely tried to do some historical accuracies, this is a video game, guys. So you're gonna have to, like, this is not Assassin's Creed has never claimed to be like the most historically accurate game. In fact, like the entire lore is based off of this sci-fi idea that the Isu created humans and things like that. So it's going to be based in history, but with some fantasy is going to be baked in for the sake of the video game. So keep that in mind. There might not be perfect. Like even I think around this time period, it was mainly wooden palisades too. I don't think there was that many stone castles. I think around this time period. So there's going to be stone fortresses and things like that. Oh, soon after this, we do an assault. Maybe we could skip it. We're going to definitely be able to see the assault before the stream ends for sure. I got to go. Jordan will be back soon. Okay, see you, Brian. Thanks for hanging out. Technically, they're boats, not ships. I'm trying my hardest to not say boat, though. No, they were called longships. Absolute evils. They're technically ships because they would go over the ocean. Here's me looking at the ability screen. I hadn't used too many of the abilities up to this point. So I was just kind of like checking it out and seeing. It does say, I guess early access what I mean. I should probably change that. That's not what I intended to mean. I was mainly, it is, I guess, technically early access in the sense that I got to play the demo early. But,
Take care of yourself out there.
it's gameplay though. Everything seems to be in order.
I'm only buying these because I hope to see you again soon.
Let me look at a couple things. It's a ship, not a boat. AC Odyssey quote. That was for Black Flag though, where there was definitely ships. Like they were ships. You know what I mean? They were like real ships. Jordan, I'm learning about in school right now, and the smaller ones were a boat, the larger ones were ships, but they had the same design. The one you were in was a boat. Interesting. So you're saying Absolute Evils that Vikings had two different. They had a boat and a ship. They had the ones that would go across the oceans, and then they had ones for river. Interesting. Why North America? If you're asking about Valhalla, yeah, here's where you get to buy more weapons and stuff. The Vikings historically visited North America. Vinland, I think is what it was called. And so, I don't know. I think, no, there's not very much information about America. It's not on the map when you're in there. So I think that it's probably likely story-based why you head there. And I don't know what that is.
Hello there.
Well, this game is from the team that created Black Flag and Origins, so this game will be better than the last two. That's my own opinion. Yeah, console or PC? Why not both? Here's another stable person that has upgrades. So, like, as you can see, you can boost endurance training too. So technically we could make our mounts even last faster, or like at least sprint for longer. I mean, are you playing on the PC or the console at the moment? Again, this is a pre-recorded meet, but when I played it on PS4. I play on the PC mainly, but that was like how they were doing the demos. You can upgrade your horse, yes. So you can go to a stable either at your settlement. You can scoot back earlier into the stream too. I showed the settlement early on in the gameplay, yeah, the horses, they have health, speed and endurance or stamina upgrades that I noticed, and also like speed in water, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if that's very useful, but I guess it's if you can get your horse to have fast water speed, you could use it instead of your boat. Horses are better in this game, right? Yeah, I mean, so I use the horse you use the horse to go more inland, but the river highways are really, really cool. The river highways, I felt like I was traveling more with my boat than I was with the horse, at least in this playthrough, which I thought was pretty cool and kind of makes sense. It's a Viking game. Do you like the RPG style AC games better or the originals? I like them both. I feel like there's a weird thing in the community here where like there's this weird kind of this or that thing, and I appreciate the old games and I love them. Like Brotherhood is one of my most favorite games ever. Oh, here we get to meet one of the Ragnar brothers here.
Who stands before Ivar Ragnarsson? Are you Sigurd Drenger? Igor!
Eivor, if you keep that up, we'll stain the floors.
The place could use some color.
Who are they?
All spies. Dressed to look the part of a peasant. Got feisty. Pitchfork. From this rabid little one. Was a time when you met and slew your enemy on the field before they could dream of things like sending spies!
And now we shake hands and make deals.
Not my thing.
I figured.
I love them whipped, weeping, and reeking of piss. Hey! Good boy. You're free, Saxon piggy, to run amok through the Mercian fields.
I would
You
have let him
can
down
use
easy.
the hidden blade in fights. Heavy B.
Follow me. I'll give you the tour.
Yeah, so
What do
I
you
think
call this
Ivar
place?
was one of the
I
most
call it
interesting
the
characters
shithole.
I met.
To the
Like-
Mercians, it is Repton. Their most revered kings are
He's
buried
pretty
below
funny.
the church. Imagine their weeping when we drove them out.
You plunged your knife deep into the heart of this kingdom.
That is right. We've got a number of Saxon nobles lined up. with
I get the
lips
vibe
puckered,
Ivar's
ready to
slightly
kiss our
insane.
asses.
He's good
The
insane
only
though.
holdout
I don't know,
is
maybe
King
he's not.
Thorgred and
At
his
least in
ward
this story,
saint,
he's
Leof.
pretty good.
But my brother is brewing a plan to deal with them.
I take it that's where we'll find my brother.
Right. Talkers
Do
they
you need to
are,
go to
Uba
a
and
dock to call the
Sigurd.
ship? Yeah, I think they
Might
answered
want
in
to
the.
take the
You can
wax from
call
your
your ship
ears.
anywhere or your boat, as long as you're next to water. Yeah, so for those of you who don't want to be spoiled by this particular storyline, it's not a major story.
I know Bergred sent a Vergeld your way. I'm
they'll
not
be a part of
going
this.
anywhere, Backrot. You have the king on his heels because of me. Because of my men.
For which you were paid. But that price does not change because you have caught a whiff of our Hacksilver hoard.
You forget I am a sellsword. I ask what I please, and I take what I'm owed.
If I wanted to hear you talk shit, I'd gouge out your tongue and shove it up your ass. Now fuck off.
This move right here, this
Having
subtle.
no silver is a bad
like-
look for the son of Ragnar Lothbrok. But worry not, Uba. I have the warriors you need.
If this is one of them, my worries have vanished.
Eivor, wolf-kissed.
You have come at just the right time. Upa and Ivar here are hunting a king.
And when we've caught him, we
I hope you
mean
meet
to
Bjorn
crown
at some
another.
point. Yeah.
Our dear Thane Shellwolf here.
It's not a role I begged for, but it's what Mercia needs just now. A man to fairly rule both Saxons and Danes.
So here, I'll pause real quick. When it comes to the decision dialogues, what I think is a big improvement from Odyssey is the fact that Eivor doesn't seem bipolar like in Odyssey, how Cassandra sometimes felt. Like there were sometimes the choices in Odyssey I felt were very much like I love you or let me kill you. Like the options were so one end or the other. Like I'm gonna either be super nice or I'm either gonna be super mean, and it felt like a very soft RPG, like a very lackluster RPG in the sense that like you couldn't really like shape who Cassandra was. Eivor is Eivor, and the choice options you have do have impact throughout the story, but it's like interesting, but they're also kind of tied to the personality of Eivor. So we have like, are you fit to rule a kingdom? Vikings rule through a Saxon king. The current king will want your head. It's not like I hate you or I love you or I'm like I'm for you or I'm against you out the gate. It's very much like you don't really know. And like Odyssey used to have like symbols like aggressive symbol, nice symbol, blah blah blah, other symbol. Those aren't really there per se in this game, and so it kind of reminds me of Telltale games to a degree, where like you would pick an option, but you don't quite know how that option is, and it's kind of tailored to the character. So I really like that part of the game.
It sounds like you'll be a king in name only, a puppet.
Something tells me not to trust Tana. Cell swords do not rate lightly being turned on.
We're going to need all the help we can get.
Tana definitely plays the role in the rest of this story.
King has
I gotta go buy
refused
Hey,
our
see ya,
offers of
Absolute
peace.
Evils. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Jailwolf means to change that. There'll be a new king for a new England.
For now, Burgred is holed up in his fortress at Tamworth, making a final stand.
Another shithole. Only further south.
We've held a siege there for weeks to no effect. So, no more knocking. Now we batter the gate to splinters. If we take Tamworth, remove Burgred and crown Sheolwulf, come morning the Shire is ours. And Mercia soon after.
Yes, remove. I cannot stress that enough. Burgred is not to be harmed. My legitimacy as king hangs on this one simple fact.
You rob all the joy from war, Saxon.
Not every victory needs to be marked by the slaughter of a king.
But it is much better.
His request is fair, Ivar, and we will honor it.
Ceolwulf betrayed his present king. Maybe tomorrow he betrays us too. Why trust him?
How can I answer that with any hope that you'd believe me? I only want what is best for the people of Mercia. And I want what's best for my son. In Burgred's Mercia, where Danes and Saxons murder one another daily, it's not possible.
This is a good plan, brother. I am ready for the coming fight.
Agreed. Yet remember this. Whatever you stand to gain here, so do we. An alliance between my clan and Mercia's crown.
See this man installed on his throne and you will have it. I swear.
The bold sons of Ragnar bellow to sound the spear din and the thunder of shields. So let fall the arrow storm. The battle begins.
Ah! You never said this one was a poet.
I need to piss.
We have a forward camp just north of Tamworth. Will you go with us?
Lead the way.
Take in the sights of Repton if you like. We will be at the docks when you are ready to go.
I'm glad you and your brother have come, if only to bring some measure of calm.
Ease yourself, Ceolwulf. We all stand to benefit, and you'll be remembered for this for years to come.
For all the wrong reasons, I fear.
I like how open all these people are. They seem Nordic to me. They are Nordic. Well, at least the Ragnar's brothers Sigurd and Eivor are. Ceolwulf is a Saxon though. I heard that it has bugs, and AC of all out issues. Don't buy up to something. There could be. I didn't notice that many bugs when I played. I wouldn't. If someone's claiming that they've played the full game and that there's a bunch of bugs and don't buy it, that's hard for me to believe. That is that doesn't sound like truthful information. Now, am I saying the game is bugless? No. There probably will be some things to work through, but they did say the game is gold today, so like that's a pretty good sign, and that's with 3 weeks leading up to launch. So they're going to be spending these next 3 weeks. They're not done. They're going to keep polishing it. I'm Nordic too. Oh, nice, awesome. By the way, your name Tidsmageddon is pretty good. I'm trying to see. So this was, I guess, a little disappointing. Unlike Odyssey, you can't really use your weapons on horseback. But that's fine. That's not like a game-ending issue for me. I think I do die here at some point, but I also take on like a bunch of bandits. I want to play as Ivar. Yeah, Ivar was pretty... Yeah, gold means game's ready for launch. I didn't really... If you notice, when you aim at someone, you can see their weak spots. That's kind of... This move is kind of hard to aim. That felt a... It'll take a little practice to use that slam ability.
Let's empty this board back.
Oh yeah, if he hits that dust, it actually throws dust on your screen. So it actually... That's about as mythical as the abilities get, I'd say. Right there. Is the jump up in the air and attack. Oh, there you go. They dusted me. I think this is around the time where I died, because I was starting to run low on rations after fighting this guy who was trying to... Just trying to get used to like the dodging, the parrying, the heavy attacks. He like picks you up and throws you. Does Geralt show up anywhere? No. So finally glad they have finishers again. It felt so boring to have enemies just drop dead after hitting them 50 times. Yeah. They have a lot of different kinds of finishers too. As we watch me just get tossed around like a rag doll. The music is great though, yeah. There's also like in the story there's a lot of when you're sneaking in and assassinating, or even like in assaults, like the music really matches what you're trying to do. I love this dance. See, I'm out of rations now. So when you run out of rations and your health doesn't regen, this is when it gets a little dicey. Because you gotta be really focused. I mean, I feel like I did pretty good. I'm out of arrows though. I definitely see some lagginess going on right now. I see what you guys are talking about. I think my should smooth out here in a second. If you're having a laggy stream, it looks like it cleared up, guys, so go ahead and refresh if it's still lagging for you. Yeah, there we go. Finally died. Alright, let's skip so we've got about another 40 or so minutes left in the stream here, and there, as you can see, we're barely through all my gameplay here. What I want to skip ahead to is,
with slow brains and fat tongues, care to prove me wrong?
Most men choose to be loud or
is
stupid. Impressed that you manage both. I will take you on.
Oh, I couldn't flight because I didn't have enough.
Spirit.
Cool. One thing though is I want to jump to the assault. There is an assault that happens. The thing though is I think there was an issue with my particular recording for my demo, and I don't think there's sound for the assault, but they came in late. The sound does kind of come back. So here's a great sword, kind of just testing it out. I'm really excited for the Excalibur. You did give the bandits hell though. Yeah, I put up a pretty good fight for a while. So this is me trying to turn in some Roman artifacts. Turns out I didn't know you had to turn in 5. So we'll learn that quickly. This guy, I think he gives you cosmetic things, but he's in your settlement. We're back at the settlement now. And out in the world, there's a lot of Roman.
We have not yet been introduced. I am Octavian Claudius Britannicus, a collector of Roman relics.
Quite a name you have.
If you are wondering what good I will bring to the settlement, you need only look to the greatest empire the world has ever known.
Yes, I've seen their great ruins. Always impressive.
But you have not seen them restored to their former glory, and I can help.
Yeah, so if you get 5 Roman artifacts, you give it to him, and I don't know, I didn't have 5, so I don't know what you get. I'm anticipating that he refines them in their cosmetic things for your settlement. That would be my guess. Wow, not gonna lie, this looks horrible. This isn't Assassin's Creed anymore. I disagree, friend, but I feel like if you still think that they're gonna remake AC2 again, I feel like you haven't been paying attention for the past 5 years in the path that they've been taking. Is this an improvement on Origins and Odyssey? Yes, it is. So here we see a couple great sword animations. Hey Jordan, so far what is your favorite weapon type? I like the greatsword, to be honest with you. I wanted to play around with a flail, but I didn't get access to one in the demo. Later on in the I think here soon I turn, I get double dual wield at some point.
Sail southeast. Bring the
Geralt
men
and
to the gates of
Kratos have a
Tamworth.
baby. That
With
baby
blood
was
the field,
Eivor.
and
That makes
Wolfhead
sense.
shall weep.
Alright, so I think I had to take like a break here for the moment. I think what I did though was I think I was going to try and find the double dual wield, which I think I set up here. Are there staffs? No, but there are spears. And resetting skills is it's pretty easy to do. Can you unequip the bow so it's not just the model? Yeah, you can hide the bow. You can visually make it not appear. So there we go. We unlocked another constellation. And I'm just kind of looking at all the different constellations that kind of pop up in the skill screen. Successful parries also deal damage to the attacker. So like there's like little passive abilities like that. Perfect attack. Press RB again during a weapon swing to do more damage on the next hit. So that's like a passive melee ability. Is the roll over your enemy a ability? I think it's a passive ability. It doesn't. So the difference is these passive abilities, I think they cost adrenaline, but not, or no, stamina, but not adrenaline. Abilities require adrenaline. And so the rollover attack, I think is a passive one where it uses stamina, not adrenaline. Well, man, do you have the complete game? No, I don't have the complete game. This is a pre-recorded demo that I played about a week or more ago. Yeah, I'm just checking out the skill screen at the moment. Did people use the staff in previous games? The overpowered ability on the staff in Odyssey was pretty good. So I think I'm about to do it here. You can reset individual nodes. So if you remember on in Odyssey, resetting your masteries was just a nightmare. In this game, if you want to rearrange this menu, see, I'm trying to check out how far it goes. It goes out pretty far. There's a lot of skills. There's a lot of skills. And you can reset individual nodes here. So I think in a moment I'm going to try and move down a different path, and I can just reset up to a particular joint. So I think I pick like I don't remember. It's been a while since I remember playing this. I'm just trying to check out all that stuff. Hey, thanks for the follow, Artemis Huntress and Guliama. Appreciate it, guys. And thanks for the bits, Michael D. Super appreciated, man. Michael D out here with all of the bits. I think at this point I was just kind of perusing because we were about to take a break, so I just kind of slowed down for a bit. Let's see here, if we scoot ahead just a little bit. yeah, so this is like the stat screen. I kind of went over that in my video if you want to check that out. I might just link that for you guys real quick. Let's link it. Yeah, I think we need to skip ahead here. Okay, so this is where the assault picks up. Keep in mind that this part of the game, the audio wasn't there for this, so apologies. We're about to head out onto an assault here. Where do you think the DLC will be? In the world, mythical places excluded? I think I could see it. See, the Vikings went everywhere, man. I could see Russia, or Kiev or something like that. I could see Paris. I could see Iceland. They even went as far as like Rome and like Istanbul. So like, or Constantinople, I think it was named at the time still, is like, they went all over the world. That's like what's the most hardest thing to do about, to determine where the DLC will take you. Hey, bonjour, Matt. I don't speak French, but, friendly hello to you, sir. DLC to the Americas. So they did confirm that America is in the game, but I think it's part of the base game. I don't think it's a DLC, so I do think that you will visit America in the base game. So they haven't given any information about any information about DLC, but I'm anticipating that there will be a post-launch content video soon. No game sound, how weird. Yeah, so in this part of the demo, I think on the recording side, they had muted the sound on accident, or for the break that we had to take. And it took them a little bit to notice that the sound was muted for the recording. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but a lot of other people who ran this demo have this part with full audio. So just go find them and ask them for this part. Do you think you'll be able to create overpowered builds like the no damage build? Maybe. It depends on if they put caps and stuff on it. The stats window, I still have a lot of questions about. I think that there will be things that you can push and little cheesy things that you'll be able to discover about the damage. See, like, look at this. This is a side quest right here. There's a guy with a question mark above his head just going by. Like, what does that mean? I don't even know what'll happen. I was on this storyline, so I didn't stop to do that. But, like, that's an example of, like, a side quest just kind of showing up in front of you. But to get back to your question about overpowered stuff, I don't know yet. But the system in place with runes and all these skill sets and these perks on these weapons, I think people are going to find some things in combat that are going to be pretty interesting, I think, for sure. So you're going to want to join our Discord community. Shameless plug. There's going to be lots of people there who are trying to essentially break the game. If I'm just being honest, push it to the max. Yeah, this is a little too quiet. I wonder if I could I might just keep skipping. I didn't realize this, but yeah, we don't have audio for the assault. It's like the coolest part, and there's no audio for it. There's like some really cool music. I'm gonna have to ask JordanDoes if he can give me maybe share some of his assault clips, so that way you can hear the music, because the music was amazing during the assault, which is one of the things I wanted to showcase and talk about. It's kind of like Conquest Battle, so like once you're ready, so this is the assault. Sorry about no audio for it. We'll figure it out in time. We'll have to play this through again on live stream once the game actually releases. But a lot like Conquest Battles, once you're ready, you go to the camp and you start the assault. Now, unlike Conquest Battles, I don't think these are repeatable. Hey, thanks for the follow, Fluffy. Appreciate it. Is it the same music that has already been released? Some of it is. Some of it's not. I was doing stuff for school, but I'm finally here. Hey, how's it going, Corrupted? Hey, Craig. How's it going? Yeah, if you guys want to check out the Discord, it's just builds.ac/discord. So like build or like ac-builds.com/discord. There's going to be a lot of folks. Did you complete all of Assassin's Creed Odyssey? I have over 1,500 hours in Odyssey. So if I didn't finish Odyssey in 1,500 hours, then something's wrong. Yeah, there's like a bunch of cool music during this part. This is so disappointing. Sorry, guys. Hey, Dr. Barusu. So we'll just listen to Chateau's playlist for my stream. Speaking of which, Chateau is a wonderful music artist. He's in the description links of the stream. And he made a streaming playlist for me that you're listening to right now. I love it a lot. You're going to be hearing a lot of his type of music. I tried figuring out how to do the RAM. It was kind of hard for me to learn. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like didn't really get it. And then this guy came up and just starts chomping on me, so I was like had to back out. I don't know how he got. That guy's a really ambitious guy. PC spec, I got a 1080 Ti, i7 3.5 gigahertz Intel processor, and 32 gigs of RAM, and a 2 terabyte M2 drive that makes all my loading super fast. Did you 100% Odyssey? I think I did. If I didn't, it's at least at 99%, and I missed like maybe one thing or a couple things. I also review a bit on the Assassin's Cast podcast. Oh yeah, if you guys aren't, if some of you are new or don't know, I do a podcast every Thursday with JordanDoes about this game too. So I'll also be streaming every Friday too from now on about this game. So and then once Cyberpunk's out, I'm gonna have to split my time on streams between. I might just stream Cyberpunk and make Valhalla videos once that comes out. That's probably what I'm gonna land on. Although there will be lots of people flooding the chat asking me to play Valhalla. But Cyberpunk, man, it's hard to say no to. But this demo is streamed, isn't it? Yes, I'm streaming this demo. This is a pre-recorded demo that I played a few weeks back. This is so disappointing that I didn't get the audio for this. In the most like vital, one of the coolest times to have audio. It's okay. just go on YouTube and look up Valhalla Assault or something like that, and I bet you there is a lot of people who got this demo. So I bet you someone's posted a full run through of this assault with sound on YouTube, guaranteed. So look that up if that's what you're looking for. But while it's kind of quiet and we're just watching, if you guys have any questions, the stream's gonna wrap up here in about 30 minutes. So if you have any pressing questions about Valhalla, let me know, and then we'll be back next week with the other half of the story. That there is audio for that part, so we'll stream the other part of the gameplay next Friday. Should I buy Cyberpunk or wait till the Ultimate Edition if one exists? I don't know, man. There's a chance that Cyberpunk is a once in a lifetime game. And so, since it's single player, it's not multiplayer, so like you don't have to rush into the game. But I think a lot of people are going to be playing it, and I think a lot of people are going to be having fun playing it. And so what makes single player games fun for me and why I promote the Discord above all else, like I'd prefer if you join, like if you want to support me, like join the Discord. Don't send me money or anything like that. Like, because I like playing single player games with a community where we all kind of figure out things and like explain, like, oh, what fun did you have? And Cyberpunk is going to be one of those. Same thing with Valhalla. They're going to be a lot of things. So if you like to play it by yourself and you don't really want the community, then I'd say wait. But like, if you kind of want to play along while everyone else is playing the game and stuff, like it might be pretty fun to get it early. Like everyone. The Zealots are ancient members with confessional rooms. Yeah, well, Zealots aren't the only ones with confessional rooms. It has been confirmed that there are assassination targets. So very much like the Cultist window from Odyssey. And they all have confession rooms. But that doesn't mean that every single person who is in the assassin window is a zealot. Zealots are kind of like a combination of, I forget their names from Origins, but they were kind of like mercenaries and then mercenaries in Odyssey. But they seem to be one-off. And they seem to be Catholic focused, very religious focused bad guys who spend a lot of time trying to hunt you down and stop you from I don't know, being a Viking. They don't like Vikings. That's all I know about the Zealots. In Odyssey, the yellow was adrenaline and the white was life. What do the bars mean here? All right, I'll show you. So if we look at the bars over here to the left of my webcam, this way? Yeah, that way. We have adrenaline, just like Odyssey here. The yellow here, each one of these stacks represents an opportunity to use an ability. As you can see here, it's my first playthrough. I wasn't really using my abilities all that much, which I think is kind of cool. That you can really kind of combat without using the abilities if you want to. Underneath is your health. This doesn't regenerate. It's based off of what you have here to the left. This is your rations. It's kind of hard to see maybe for you guys, but there's a 2 in there. So I can fill my health back up 2 more times in this battle. Or I have to go around and find food or rations to be able to heal myself. The bottom is stamina. So that's what when I'm using the greatsword, I use a lot of stamina to get those heavy attacks in. So stamina is going to be used for a lot of like high profile animation combat moves. So like heavy attacks, or like that in the trailer, that attack where Eivor uses the cha-cha-cha, that like that's in the game, and that'll probably use stamina. That's not necessarily an ability that uses adrenaline. So this is me being a little confused, trying to figure out where I should go. It takes me a little bit to figure it out, but that's fine. The map is probably double Odyssey. England is slightly smaller than Greece. So the actual map of England, I think, is smaller than Odyssey, but there's a lot more to do and a lot more intricacies in the map. And that doesn't include, we haven't seen a single theater map for Norway or for America or things like that. So there's going to be different tiers. So if you played Odyssey, you remember how you could jump between Atlantis and you could jump between Greece. You could jump between all these different map types. I think the game's going to kind of have that vibe where you're going to be able to jump between all these different maps. So we have yet to see how big the Norway map is. We've yet to see how big America is. They're probably not going to be as big as England because that's where you're going to spend a primary amount of time. But maybe they'll be bigger than Odyssey all added up, if that makes sense. The Phi Lakes, yeah. What? The game is out? The game is not out. No, it comes out November 10th. Alright, I'm trying to figure out where I'm at again. We'll get there. Are you going to play Valhalla on PC? Yeah. That's probably just because that's where my best... I got a 1080, which is now, like... It's funny, when I had it, it was like the best graphics card, but now it's not. So... I think I can play on ultra settings, which is pretty good, at 1080p. I might even be able to play on the highest at 60 frames per second, but it'll have to be on 1080p, not 4K or anything like that. But maybe if the 380s don't sell out, I need to see if my motherboard can even handle that if I wanted to upgrade it. Because I think it would be kind of cool to upgrade my graphics card for this game to just kind of push it a little bit. I'm realizing here too, this is where builds and stuff will get super interesting. These skirmishers are just such quick little spry little dudes, and I have this greatsword and I'm just trying to hack him apart and he's just like dipping and diving around me. I should be parrying those attacks. I am dodging them, but I'm definitely learned quickly that certain enemies are prone to different weapon types than others, and so swapping out a greatsword for a bunch of small daggers fighting those guys might be like a pretty good idea. Alright, see ya, scumbag. I'm not calling someone scumbag. That's their name in Twitch, okay? Are there daggers in Valhalla? Yes, there are. You can dual wield daggers. Is the combat system the same as Odyssey? It's definitely built off of Odyssey. And it feels very similar, but it's also a lot more grounded. It feels like a lot more... Yeah, there's just more reality and structure to the combat. It feels a lot more thick. I don't know if that means anything to you. All right, but I enjoyed it a lot more. The weapon types, which I'll cover in a video that I'm going to be editing this weekend, is like we have like flail, sword, dagger, axe, large axe, two-handed great swords, and shields. Yeah, this is unfortunate that this cutscene we don't have audio for. This is going to be another example of how, like, finding things to do. Like, the new RTX 3060 is very cheap for the performance, around $500 US. Yeah, but they're all, like, sold out, right? Like, I don't know if I'll be able to get one anytime soon. You shouldn't be locking the targets. It's seen that where you're just pressing light attack without locking. So you can lock. When I played on the PC, I don't typically lock it. And the reason I don't tend to lock on Assassin's Creed is because I feel like I have more control over other enemies showing up. Like the way the camera focuses always on the one kind of blocks me from seeing other people. So I'm kind of used to not locking when I play this game. But I did find that on the console, when I locked, it was a lot easier to fight than when I didn't. This is not early access. I need to change that. I'll change it in the title at the end. But yeah, this is not technically. It's technically early access. It's a demo that I played for 6 hours a week ago. Yeah, don't worry, Dr. Barusa. People come and go on these streams all the time, and you get used to the repetitive questions. I'm just sad that we can't hear. I'm gonna have to ask, see if JordanDoes can give me, because I love this scene where he was sleeping. If he could give me the audio to these cutscenes. I just said that because it would be easier to hit these faster targets. Yeah, I keep in mind this is pre-recorded. The decisions I made have already been made, so if I didn't lock them, can't change that now. Yeah, JordanDoes, he's a good guy. We've been kindling quite the friendship over the past year, especially with the podcast. He's not to turn this into a JordanDoes fluff stream, but lots of people ask me about him or things like that, and the guy you hear in the videos is the guy you hear when me and him are prepping for our podcast. When we're talking, when there's no cameras, no recording, it's pretty much the same guy. So that's always a refreshing thing, because I used to do a lot of live events for popular businessmen, so millionaires, and who I would help them do their audio and video for their big fancy live events. And there's a lot of fake people. When someone has fame or wealth, there's a lot of people who change who they are and act one way and are another way. But JordanDoes is not one of those guys. Jordan, I really enjoyed your AC Odyssey content and your content. How do you think Valhalla compares? As in, if you loved Odyssey, will Valhalla be something I'm interested in? Yes, if you loved Odyssey, you're going to like Valhalla. Now, keep in mind, there might not be as much, we don't know yet, but there might not be as, the whole conquest system isn't really there. There is, it's more one time. You know how in Odyssey, regions were constantly flipping? I don't think you're going to see that in this game, but I think there's plenty of awesome stories and combats and things like that where I don't think you're going to miss it. I think this game, there's going to be plenty to do, lots of time to be spent in this game, and lots of combat combinations, and I think a much more immersive characters. I mean, it's hard to discredit Barnabas. Barnabas was a pretty good character, probably one of my favorites. But Ivar, in the short time that I got to see him in this game, he was a phenomenal character. Just in the short time that I got to experience with him. I try to only ask questions once, to be honest. Yeah. It's not that people are repeating questions. It's that, streams are very much like the radio. People come and go. because no one should expect any reasonable person to stick around the whole time, especially when you're like this one where we're reacting to a video of me playing a week ago. Yeah. So people pop in and ask a question that's already been asked and they haven't heard the answer yet. I don't mind answering though. I like this stuff. Show dual wield fight, please. Oh, it'll come up at some point. There's some in my video. We can, now that the conquest battle's over, we can skip ahead to where there's sound. There we go. Me murdering a wolf. The sound's back. Perfect. I've been here from the start. See, but I love the dedication to Doctor. The dedicated ones who stick around from the start. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all you. Thank you so much for you. I never would have thought, even with a year break on my end, that like me kickstarting all this again and like so many people came and like showed up. I was anticipating such a small stream. I mean, it's not a huge one, but the fact that we still have as much people still caring a lot and showing up, I really appreciate it. I know it's really cheesy to say like you guys are a big deal, but like you guys are. You guys make me pretty happy, so I appreciate it. And hopefully in that I can make your guys' experience with the video games a lot better too.
Just keep your wits about you.
Calm, Ivar. Me and Ava will take care
First
of
rule of Mod Club: if you don't ask about Mod
We'll go see
Club.
Tom. Just the two of us.
Yeah.
Ivar and Oba will wait
I don't
here.
make the mod
Better if
choices
Tom
anymore.
thinks we've come alone.
The
truth is, I don't think any of us can stop Ivar from cleaning.
Tetracycloid and the guys,
It's all
they
he was spewing the whole way over here.
Right. Shall
they
We'll return shortly.
A small fortune for
they're
whoever
empowered
sends
now.
Connor to hell.
They can
I'll
ban
hold
me
you
from
to
my
that.
own Discord if they.
From what I overheard
really
in
needed
Repton,
to.
the brothers had an arrangement with Tona. What happened?
She's a mercenary. Uba
That's
used
common
her
in
for
every
man and
community.
information.
If someone
But that
asks to be a
relationship's soured
moderator,
now that Burgred
they
is all but
quickly
defeated.
put themselves at the
From what
bottom
I
of the
heard,
list.
Tana has hunger for two things: soft silver.
How's the game so far?
And the stone.
I loved it. I
Neither
loved
of which
what I
earns
gotta
you
play.
true loyalty.
If she can't be trusted, what use is she?
That is for
You
us to
seem
find
like
out.
a pretty
We
patient
may
man.
be able to satisfy her.
And if we can?
At times.
Ivar did
I
tell
enjoy
you to
this
bring
though.
your axe.
It's easy to be patient when you're happy and enjoying yourself. If you're grumpy, anxietous, or stressed, your patience weighs pretty. Anyone's patience can
She's
get pretty
more
thin
your type,
pretty
I
quickly.
think.
This is your challenge.
Come now. Don't drag your
I'm still in the server despite not being in the AC community anymore.
Sigurd, what brings you strolling into my camp this brisk day?
I suspect you already know.
Yes.
How's the game? I do not want to see spoilers.
The Embers on the air be
this
true.
is kind of spoilers,
And yet,
but
if
it's
you are here
spoilers
talking to
for
me,
this
King
one
Burgred
mission
remains at large.
in Mercia.
And who are
there
you,
are
lovely
no
dove?
major
Want to
spoilers
perch your
in
ass
this
on my
thing.
lap?
So if you don't want to, and keep in mind too, when me and Joe Raptor were going over our experience
Not
in this
interested.
mission, we both had
And why not?
completely,
I've
not
been told I
completely,
have
but
a
like
rather
different experiences
expert
entirely.
tongue.
So the
Only
experience
good for
you're seeing
yawping,
here
I
with
see.
me, you might, when you come back and
Enough
play this
blabbering.
mission yourself,
You know what
you
we
might
do.
have a completely different
Where is King Burgred?
seeing of it.
That is what you want. And what makes
What's
you
up,
think I
Tetra?
have the slightest idea?
We found letters, records of trade. The two of you have a history.
Tetracycloid.
What can I say?
We're gonna figure
the
out
king
how
pays
to
well
break
for
this
my
game.
services. If only I could say the same for those two Ragnarsson plots.
You're dealing with me now, and I want to know what you know. Name your price.
Very well. I could use another cow. And you can cover the cost.
If you will, compare AC Odyssey and Valhalla, which is better so far. So keep in mind, I don't have enough silver to pay her.
You take me for a fool.
I take you for desperate beggars. I can
Here,
smell
I'm gonna
it on
turn
you
down
like
the
dung.
audio of the game so I can
Now
focus
that's my
on the
price.
questions here.
What
as
say you?
We're gonna start wrapping this stream up here in a bit.
You heard me the first time, but I'll get what I need one way
So to
or
answer your
another.
question, comparing it to AC Odyssey, I think it takes a lot of the things that Odyssey introduced, like the customizable combat, the interesting enemies, the engaging world to a degree, and I think it expands it. I think that this game is a refinement of like definitely Origins and Odyssey combined. It has, I think, the best things from both of those games. Origins had a really great storyline. Odyssey had a very RPG kind of experience, and it kind of does both of it at the same time. The customization is more, the gear types are more, the enemy types are more, there's no more RNG loot. The loot grind, there's grind. So like if you're a loot grind person who's disappointed, there's gonna be grind. Like there's plenty of things to complete and gear to track down. Look at that. Like there's like a ton of wealth in this region to find and tons of gear to find. But instead of you trying to wait for that special epic roll, like the fact that epic gear was better than legendary gear, that's not the case in Valhalla. The 4 rarity types, you can upgrade them. And so, and I did get confirmation there's no gear locked behind decisions. So if you 100% this game, you're going to have the same gear as someone else who 100%s this game. So no more like the one thing Odyssey, like the fact that like you couldn't get crit chance on certain weapon types, but then there was one that did have it. That's not the case in Valhalla, which I think is a big win. I know that Tetracycloid's going to love that because there's not going to be people entering our chat constantly asking, how do I get this weapon? And then we have to tell them, you need a New Game Plus to get that weapon. I didn't notice Dynamite is not a mod in YouTube. Let me do that. Boom. What did you do besides the story and the demo? So if you kind of scoop back in the stream, I was at the settlement. I did a lot of some exploring. I fought a zealot. He was too strong for me at the time, and so I couldn't take him on. And then we did some raids along the river as well. We're about a little over halfway through my gameplay. So there's a lot more gameplay left, but we'll finish all this gameplay next week. And then I'll obviously be posting some videos about combat in the settlement. There's already a lot of good videos out there though about the settlement. If you haven't seen already, like JV has done a lot of good videos about it. Fishy, Joraptor, all the usual suspects have already put up some really solid videos kind of outlining a lot of details about the settlement and stuff. That's kind of why I went with the gear first, was I knew there was going to be plenty of settlement videos. I still plan on making one, but it might not be as good as theirs, but whatever. Can you show the most powerful skills on the skill tree? I can't because this is pre-recorded. There is a part in the gameplay where I look at every single skill. We can show that next week though, maybe, and I'll also showcase that in a video that hopefully I'll get done over the weekend. Does Valhalla transfer data from PS4 to PS5? They haven't said so yet. Which I think it might be concerning now because I don't want to be Mr. Rumor, but like the fact that Watch Dogs has already said they are, but Valhalla hasn't, and every time I do ask a lot of the developers, and they kind of just brush me off. Not in a mean way, but in probably a PR way. So I'm guessing that they're trying to figure out how to do that, but they don't want to promise it if it turns out they can't. So I would anticipate that file save, like, plan that file saves won't transfer, and then be pleasantly surprised if they do. You're not on Twitch either. Do you mind? Hey, Dynamite, do you mind messaging on Twitch then, so I can just quickly add you? Assuming they're right about that, I'd honestly be surprised if Ubisoft marketing were aware of the extent of unique and rare epic items in Odyssey. The person who has asked that question, I think, is someone who actually has that answer about the gear not being locked behind. That was not a marketing person. I think it came from a dev. So much for being sneaky. I think I die here, actually.
I am taking your head back to the darkness. That'll teach them to cross me.
All right, we've got about 4 minutes left in the stream here, guys, and so I want to let you guys know that we'll be wrapping up here in a bit after I die here, and I give it another shot in the synchronization. But if you have any more questions, now's the time. Send it in. But if you have more, join the Discord, message me. I don't mind answering your questions off stream too. Look at that move. Great sword special attack. You just sprint like that. Isn't that pretty cool? When are you streaming again? Friday. I'm gonna start slow. I don't want to overpromise you guys and get and then disappoint myself and you by promising to do too much. But I'm gonna try to get at least a video or two out a week if I can, with my work, and then I'm gonna start streaming every Friday because I have Fridays off. And as the game ramps up and things are moving, I'm hoping that I have an opportunity to increase how much content I can output. You mentioned you got caught by Tana. Yeah, I did. This is me getting caught by Tana again. Oh, there is a moment here where there's a little issue, a little physics thing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pause it here, even though we're starting to fight. I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up here, guys. So, if there's any other last pressing questions that you must have before I end it, let me know right now as I do this. What's up, guys? Ladies and gents and all kinds of people. When do you think they'll release a post-launch trailer? They're going to release one hopefully before launch. So I'm anticipating next week sometime. Next week sometime. And the music went out. See, I designed my playlist to play. Here, we'll play the theme song one more time that Chateau made me. Yeah. The playlist is just long enough for a full stream. Where's the most beautiful dog? My dogs are outside of the office right now. Since we moved to the house, they've gotten a lot more confident yelling at mailmen. That's for sure. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and head out here. I appreciate you guys sticking it out for this long. Thanks again for such a warm welcome, guys. I can't believe, I don't know. You guys made me feel really special coming back and making content again. And so I appreciate all of you so much. And if you have any more questions, ask me in the Discord, builds.ac/discord or ac-builds.com/discord. And check out the Assassin's Cast with me and JorRaptor. And check the stream out earlier. For those of you who showed up later, I had Ubisoft Mentor and Assassin's Creed subreddit moderator Turul or Dylan on, and we talked a lot about his feelings and thoughts about the story and things like that. So scroll back to earlier in the stream and you can check that out. Cool. Appreciate you guys. See you around. Thanks so much.